810 medium wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For Open All Mics, you'll find that on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds. And both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
All the action.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sport Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. It's fantastic to have Open All Mics back on a Saturday. It's a busy afternoon ahead. Just as Tom English walks out the studio, you might want to come back in later on, because what I'm going to do in the next half hour or so is announce who won out of our pundits for the predictions for last season. I've not had a chance yet to do that, so we'll get that in a little later. We'll have all the goals from right across the country. Rory Loy is alongside me here. He's on VAR duty this afternoon. We got round the top flight grounds. We brought you some transfer news. Let's now get to the three games we are covering in the Championship this afternoon. Chick Young is at Somerset Park for us. Ayr United up against Wraith Rovers. Should be an absolute belter there today, Chick.
Yeah, Kenny, it's a football club, Ayr United. The ground is bursting with sunshine this afternoon and bursting anticipation. I know the season is hardly underway, the top of the league. A brand new stand and a real sense of confidence that they can push for the Championship and make their way into the big time. Wraith Rovers, meanwhile, seem to be under a lot of stress, maybe heading in a different direction. They sacked Dean Murray after just one game. They're still seeking a new manager. David Healy, who's currently the boss in Linfield, former Rangers Northern Ireland centre forward, seems to be the favourite in the clubhouse. I think they have asked permission to speak to him. We'll see what happens there. We're just about under starters' orders. I won't get through the team news, but there is one headline. Paul Hanlon makes his competitive debut for the Rovers this afternoon, and now as the referee looks his whistle, we are underway at Somerset Park.
Good stuff, thanks to Chick Young. He'll work on that story for us throughout the afternoon. We may have something for you later on sports. We've got a Rovers fan joining us between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. So all the news from Chick on Open All Mics. Andy Burke will bring us the news from Falkirk against Partick Thistle. Gully Singh will do the same from the game. Livingston against Morton. So let's get to Andy. Looking forward to this one, Andy.
Yeah, we're underway here, Kenny. Glorious day, the Falkirk Stadium bathed in sunshine, and we heard Chick talking there about promotion hopes. Two teams very much with promotion in their sights this season. It's been a brilliant start to the season for Falkirk. 2 wins from 2 on the return to the Championship, and of course that fantastic victory over Hearts in the League Cup last time out. So a real sense of momentum around this place at the moment. Partick Thistle, it's been a bit more of a patchy start to the season. They're still waiting for their first victory after a draw and a defeat in their first 2 games. They're at 8th in the table. They'll want to start climbing sooner rather than later. So yeah, we're all set up for a cracker here, Kenny, but still 0-0 in the opening stages.
Good stuff, thanks to Andy Burke. Good afternoon to you, Gully Singh. Are you expecting a tight affair this afternoon? Livingston against Morton?
Hi Kenny, yes, we are expecting a tight affair, especially where Greenup Morton are concerned. They've yet to get off the score sheet in the Championship, but it's here Livingston versus Greenup Morton here at the home at the Set Fair Arena. Livingston opened their Championship account with a home win before a share of the spoils away at Queen's Park as David Martindale's side settle into life in Scotland's second tier. St Johnstone loanee Stevie May, he makes his Livy debut this afternoon for Morton. As I said, 2 goalless draws against Partick and Hamilton. Will their forward line get going today? We shall see. They can't be as wasteful as they were against Hamilton a fortnight ago. It's 3rd versus 6th in the Scottish Championship. Slight breeze, but the showers have passed. Some sunshine hopefully remains here over the course of the next 90 minutes. It's Livingston versus Greenup Morton in the Scottish Championship.
Good stuff. I can tell there's a goal already in the Championship. Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 1. Jack Turner with that opener after just 2 minutes. We'll bring you all the goal news from right across the country. Let's get to Billy Dodds. He's at Hampden for us this afternoon. Rangers against Ross County. Billy, just before we get to the game, I know you're alongside Neil McCann. He's in commentary duty this afternoon. He just messaged me, Neil, and he said, look, that was a great debate. There's at least 2 hours in that debate we had with Andy Gould. You know what I could tell, Neil? I could see it from Rory and Tom in the studio and hear it from you guys. The real passion. Everyone wants things to improve in Scottish football.
I think there's a feature-length film in it, never mind 2 hours. I would say Zulu type. Remember that? About 4.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, there's plenty to talk about and a lot of good debate and a lot of valid points, but we have to find something that, as I said, the main thing is bridging that gap and everybody coming together. Even some of the old school stuff, but some modern thoughts as well would be good, Kenny.
Kenny, the numbers will astound you with the amount of kids that clubs have got in academies now. And when we were S Forums, as it was called then, you were maybe saying 150 elite players at that level. Now there's thousands, and we never had 150 years ago, so we've hardly got thousands. We need to do something, and it has to happen dramatically.
Alan, would you agree that there's too many in the system? Too
100%,
many players
that's
in
what I'm
the
saying,
system?
Willie. Far too many.
When I was
There's
on
so
the...
many are getting let down as well because they've got this, this chance to be a professional football player, but realistically, some of them have no chance.
See when clubs think they've got under 13s, under 14s, under 15s, under 16s, under 17s, or 17s and 18s, they do not have enough players, good players. They've got to do something about that. They've got to combine age groups. I put that forward many years ago. It fell in deaf ears, I'm afraid.
But Willie, when we played, we signed a thing called an S Forum. All the guys will know this.
I know it as well.
Every club was allowed to sign 15.
Yep.
So you had 3 under 12, 3 under 13, 3 under 14, and if you wanted to bring one in, you had to drop one of your 15 out. Now every age group's got 18 to 20 players.
A wee story about that, Alan. I signed an S form for Aberdeen and Celtic came chapping at my door and says, we want to take you and train you. I says, I'm signed an S form with Aberdeen. He says, no, you're no. So they used to put it in a drawer. They used to get you to sign it and put it in a drawer in the secretary's room and no register it.
That's just you though, Willie.
Do you know what? They're clearly very serious about making change, the SFA. I thought Andy spoke really well on Sports Sound there, and I say that the passion from a pundit shone through. We'll have another debate on this in the coming weeks and actually see what progress there has been. What's happening, Billy Dodds, early stages at the National Stadium?
As you can imagine, Rangers are dominating possession. Counting a back 4, I thought they would go a 3, but they have gone a Fetty at right back and Harmon at left back, Nightingale and right. So they've matched up against Rangers, keeping the 3, Laturi, Randall and Denham in the middle of the pitch. And then 3 up front. So it's a 4-3-3 for them. Just try to... As we said, though, it's a different formation from what I thought, but they're trying to counter-attack and try to hit Rangers in the break, with Rangers having the more possession as you'd expect so far in the match, Kenny.
What's happening early stages, Easter Road, Alan Preston?
Hibs are forcing the issue a little bit, but against free scoring Dundee, they've been terrific this season. Hibs been difficult for them. 2 games against Celtic, really tough start for them, but it's 0-0, not really much happening, Kenny.
As I was saying, Alan, I'm not talking about his job at the moment, obviously, but in terms of the manager, you feel he's got something to prove. A young manager, they've been dreadful in recent times. He's had a tough start in terms of fixtures, but this looks like a game today that they'll look to win and perhaps kick on from.
Well, when you look at the size of the 2 clubs, Dundee are a big club and a good support today, but Hibernian are a bigger club, and they should be winning games at Easter Road. But this Dundee side under Tony Docherty have been terrific, scoring goals for fun, winning games for fun. The League Cup, they were incredible, so it's going to be a real tough game for Hibs, and if Dundee get the first goal, this big Hibs crowd that's here today might just turn on them. You just never know.
That'll be interesting. Who's dominating the early stages at Tannadice, Willie?
I think it's pretty even. I gave Trapanovsky a big write-up earlier on. The first touch of the ball, he plays the ball back the way. What is that all about? So, it's been lively. It's been very direct. Both teams playing the longer ball, trying to, test defenders. There hasn't been an opportunity of note as yet, but the intent is certainly there. So it's been an active start to the game, but very early to give you any indication of who's going to dominate this one.
Dumbarton nil, Arbroath 1. Scott Stewart with a goal there in 5 minutes. Arbroath, of course, parting company with Jim McIntyre last Saturday. Let's then drop into the Championship. Chick Young down at Somerset Park for us. I always remember, Chick, you describing that as an anachronism of a football stadium, but it's very much changed these days. I've not been down myself, but the pictures on TV look very good. They've done a lot of good work down there.
Yeah, well, I used to argue just leave it the way it is for future generations to remember stadia the way they used to be. Someone has not listened to build this new stand. Actually, Kenny, you get a sense of this football club at the moment that ambition is in the air. There is a club going places. The playing surface is immaculate. The team are enthusiastic, and around this ground, a big crowd. Raith Rovers have brought through a fair old support themselves, but Ayr United and the town of Ayr, I think, is wakening up to what's happening at Somerset Park. They've shown showed ambition on and off the park, and there's a real buzz, to use that well-known cliche, about this whole place, you know, and I'd like to get the attendance in here today. I think we may well be in excess of 3,000, and that's an indication that Ayr United's average attendances were way below that. I think they're up about 500 average in terms of the start of the season, so the town is reacting to it, and I just think Ayr United, for me, will be at the right end of this table, will be one of the real promotion candidates in the championship this time.
Sorry, Chick, Neil, a brilliant counter-attack from Ross County. I mean, Tavernier had the chance at the other end, drives in and chose to cross it rather than maybe shoot with his left foot. They break, Hale, one of those counter-attacks I'm talking about. He's at Suter, he goes on his right foot and he bends a brilliant shot that Butland has to throw himself through. You'll see it away to his left and get it away. What a great attempt from Ross County.
Yeah, it was, because Tavernier was up the pitch. It was a really poor cross.
Was it offside, Rory?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He never flagged, they let play go on.
It was touch and go. The camera wasn't quite caught up at that point, so he may have been in his own half, is the only thing I would say. But he did look slightly offside, but not a bad effort. He's a little buzz bomb Vale. He runs about, puts you under pressure. He's not dissimilar to Simon Murray, actually, the work rate he puts in and how he plays the game.
In England, it finished at lunchtime. Brighton 2, Manchester United 1. A late goal for the home side there. My goodness, what a shot could be in the cards early doors. Manchester City 0, Ipswich Town 1. Sammy Smodjic to the goal. Yes, Alan.
What's a goal for Dundee, and it's a great goal. Tiffany, and I said it, this crowd might turn. It's really good play by Cameron. He shows composure in the box, rolls it to Tiffany, and with his right foot, he whacks it past the Hibs keeper. Brilliant start from Dundee, 1-0.
Yeah, brilliant from Dundee's perspective, but too many static bodies. Hibs defending in the box is leaving a lot to be desired there. It's a great finish by Tiffany. Started the season on fire, Alan. Really good.
Brilliant. They have been, you know, Dundee are playing with such a wonderful attitude that they've all got. And for me, Rory, it typifies with Murray. He's the leader for them. Yeah. I know that McCowan's the captain, but Murray is just everything you want in a football player. If you're his teammate, he gives you everything. And he started this already. He's been brilliant, but what a finish from Tiffany.
The clearance is awful initially from the Hibs left back. I think it is the defender.
It's really bad. It's on his right foot. And then it's really good play from Cameron. He beats a couple of players and then rolls it to Tiffany and he slams it home.
It is good play. It's a little bit too easy from a Hibs perspective. I said before the game. I said before the game started that Hibs would need to score at least 2 to win the game. Well, it's looking at this point that they might need to score more.
Alan, can you explain this to me? Because it's been season after season now. All you pundits have been saying the Hibs defence is dreadful. It must be addressed. Here we are, money spent, and it looks as bad as ever.
Well, Wabita was here last year. The two centre-halves are new, and I'm not too enamoured with them, if I'm being honest. Hibs are trying to come back, but so I still think that, you know, that Bashiri's here. They've let Hanlon go, obviously, because they feel he was coming to the end, and they've not replaced it with any better for me. You know, they weren't. Hanlon was coming to an end, and Bashiri's not the answer either. But the ones they've got in so far don't look any better.
I gave you that goal. Manchester City 0, Ipswich Town 1. Sammy Smodjic on 7 minutes. Bonnie Regrose 0, Clyde 1, Liam Scullion after 9. 4-0, Edinburgh City 1 in its Lawson on 11 minutes. Confirmation that goal that Alan brought us. Hibs 0, Dundee 1. Scott Tiffany with the opener on 9 minutes. Let's get back into the championship. Chick was telling us a real buzz down at Somerset Park. My goodness, there must be a real buzz at Falkirk this afternoon because they are going so well, Andy Burke, and the crowds there have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and it's no different today, Kenny. Real great atmosphere here today. The stands housing the Falkirk fans just about packed out. Really healthy travelling Partick Thistle support as well, who are really making their voices heard, and it's been a lively enough start to the game. Thistle looked pretty dangerous on the counter-attack, but Falkirk having most of the ball, and the best moment of the match so far, Ethan Ross, his pace out in the left flank is really scaring the Partick Thistle defence, and he picked it up wide on the left, drove past a few defenders and curled a wonderful effort from 20 yards that looked just to get past Miles Roberts in the Partick goal, but it just flew the wrong side of the post. But he looks a real threat, Ethan Ross. He actually just got chopped in a tackle a minute ago, so Thistle obviously looking to limit his impact, but not lively enough, but still goalless at the moment.
What's happening in the early stages? Livingston against Morton. Gully Singh?
Yeah, Kenny, it's all Livy at the moment here, full of possession. It was an early yellow card for Morton's Zach Delaney for a mistime challenge. But in 4 minutes, it was a throw-in taken quickly for Livy. Andrew Shinney laid it off in the path of Stephen Kelly. His shot just shy of the right-hand post. But so far, nothing quite clear-cut. Still Livingston 0, Greenock Morton 0.
Another goal has gone in. Annan Athletic 0, Alloa Athletic 1. Stefan Skugel with that goal on 12 minutes. Now, I didn't do predictions the opening day of this season because there weren't enough of you pundits on, because we know it was a very stretched out card on the opening weekend.
I think it was you that was on holiday, Kenny.
Well, maybe, Willie, but you know what? Don't get your digs in too early.
I was here.
I was there too in the opening Saturday, but remember the games are so staggered.
After a month off.
That's true. That's true.
And keep your shape, Kenny. Keep your shape.
That's not a good thing for me, as you know. Right, here we go. So, I had a look at last season's predictions. So, before I tell you who won that, does anyone think they did win it?
I can't remember that far back.
Oh, come on. No? Right, well, I'm going to tell you who won it. It was a tight call between two people, but Michael Stewart was second. He didn't win it because he gave two clubs that could go down. So I asked for top, bottom and surprise package. Our winner, and I want you all to congratulate him, Chick Young. Chick Young delivers yet again. There is no substitute for experience, Mr. Young.
He's been on this earth, wee guy.
He's been on this earth longer than the rest of us. But less knowledge.
See, that still delivers. I'm really enjoying that Deliveroo job that I've got now.
Hey, Chick, after 84 years of predictions, you've got to get one right.
Who was the surprise package, Kenny? Have you got it there?
Chick's surprise package. So Chick went, obviously, Celtic title, Livy relegated, Dundee surprise package from Cheeto.
Ah, well played.
Yeah, well played to Chick. Spurs 1, Everton 0.
So wait a minute,
40 minutes. Right, Chick, on you go. I'll give you a moment.
So what? No, it's not my moment. I just wanted you all to acknowledge. I think I listened, Kenny, or watched when I was away, and get Tony Fitzpatrick on the programme, and how you all laughed at Tony saying St Mirren would be a top 6 club, and I backed them all the way these years ago. So I would like a joint apology from you in particular, I think, Kenny, and various others to deny that. How you mocked about St Mirren being top 6.
That is
Don't
true.
have my moment in the sun. Give it to Tony.
Kenny, who decided the surprise package, by the way?
Well, some were accurate and some weren't. So Dundee were definitely a surprise package. Okay, I did.
Not a surprise package.
Yes, but no. Yeah, they were a surprise package, but someone had to get all three. So Chick got all three.
No, that's fine. But you decided it was Dundee? The surprise package.
No. I didn't choose one club for surprise package. Kilmarnock would have got a tick. Dundee would have got a tick.
So it was everybody.
Is there a cash prize, Kenny?
We'll get back to that, Chick.
Willie's trying to take a prize off you, Chick.
I'm just questioning.
That dodgy.
Chick, well done.
It's a West Coast bias again, isn't it?
At your age, take all the plaudits you can. Yeah.
Chick, you're referring to Tony Fitzpatrick. He chose the music for us a couple of weeks ago. 3 great songs, and here we dig at myself and Tom English in particular for mocking his claims a few years ago, and he gets the last word, no doubt. It's all about that. The music tonight, guys, chosen by another St Mirren legend, John McGinn, and one references the League Cup win that he was part of. So that'll be between 5:30 and 7 o'clock this evening. Manchester City have bounced back very quickly. They went a goal down to Ipswich Town. They're now 2-1 ahead. Kevin De Bruyne with the goal on 14 minutes. Billy, we were chatting earlier about the formation. I quite like the chat around how a team sets up, and some managers are very rigid in that, but perhaps don't have the personnel to execute that. What do you make of the shape that Philippe Clement goes with week in, week out? Do you think with the personnel he has, he'll be better suited to a different shape right now?
There is debate for it, because Tavernier, people going about him defensively, and Jefty in that left-hand side, but there's a few injuries as well. Yeah, you could go a 3-5-2. People would say that is a better shape, but it's tried and tested. I think what's happening with Rangers over the last couple of weeks at least is the change of personnel and the reasons being given, the minutes being given. to certain people, it's a wee bit kind of all over the place with personnel. You're thinking, right, they've got their strongest team, which you would maybe look at fit, and the 3 of them on the bench because they're not quite fit enough yet to play more than 45 minutes. I think there's a wee bit of that rather than formation. I think with what they've got just now, it's probably the right formation, Kenny. It's an attacking formation. They have that 10 that's been well documented, so it's an attacking formation. Yes, you could, with the personnel they have, dabble with another one, but Rangers have been tried and tested in this formation, won the league a few seasons ago in this formation as well, so I think it's a wee bit of personnel changing all the time just now. Here's a chance for Dessers, through 1-1, goal! On cue. I mean, I think it was Tom Lawrence who's twisting and turning. Rory can correct me if I'm wrong, and
no,
he just
right, Billy,
lays
right.
a lovely ball through. We're just speaking about the 10. That's his job, picking it up on the half turn, laying Dessers through, and for a change, he doesn't deliberate on it. He just takes his touch and smashes it away beyond the Ross County goalkeeper Ross Laidlaw, and it is Rangers 1, Ross County 0.
Yeah, it's really good feat by Tom Lawrence. You called it correctly, Billy, and we said before the game, you know, as well as you do have your defensive responsibilities, if you're playing a 10, you really want to be offensively creating, scoring, and it's a lovely turn in the middle of the pitch. It really is, and he glides by the next defender, and Dessers shifts it from his right onto his left. Top finish.
Manchester City 3, Ipswich Town 1, Erling Haaland on 16 minutes, Fulham 1, Leicester City 0, Emile Smith-Rowe on 18 minutes. So Rangers ahead at the National Stadium at home to Ross County. We saw an early goal for the away side through at Easter Road. Alan Preston, what fight back at all from Hibs? I've not seen too much on the screen so far.
It's Dundee have been brilliant, you know. Tiffany, McCowan, Cameron, Silla in the middle of the park, they've been dominating. Hibs have had, I know who I've been really disappointed in, and it's been a number of months, obviously, tailing into last season, is Martin Boyle. A chance of you have volley for Murray, comes back to Cameron, hit, deflected and in! It's 2-0! As the boos ring round Easter Road, flag's gone up, it's going to be chopped off.
That clearance again, Alan.
I know, but have a look at this.
Right, here we are.
Must have hit somebody.
Yeah, we'll have a wee look.
Somebody on the way in.
Waiting for a replay.
It's a good clearance.
Yeah.
Is that a Hibs player on it? Is it a beta? I don't know.
I wonder if he's offside in the first phase here, Rory. Just a wee look at this when the ball first went into the area.
Yeah, we'll have a
So I've obviously got all the screens in here, so I just caught a glimpse of it. So we'll get another. We're still waiting for that replay. The referee is being spoken to by his VAR colleagues right now. He's got his hand to his ear. Simon Murray is in there speaking with him right now. Tony Docherty looking very pensive on the touchline. This could be a huge goal if it is awarded. Here we go, Rory. Right, so the ball's played in. Oh, is he offside there?
Oh, it's very tight. So the shot comes in, and I think it's Simon Murray. It hits Simon Murray, and then it deflects back to Cameron, who scores, or is it McCowan who scores? So it's just whether Simon Murray's offside when it hits him, but I mean, it's incredibly tight.
Very, very tight.
Incredibly
Two players very
tight.
close together as well, so it's going to be a really touch and go. We're waiting, Al, you'll probably get this before us with a slight delay we've got here in the studio, but a big moment.
Away from that though, Kenny, I mean, it's not identical, but there's so many similarities in the defending by Hibs. The poor clearance, when the shot comes in, it comes back.
Chance for Rangers again. Dessers releasing Lawrence.
Offside.
Oh, he's missed it.
It's offside, so very, as you are saying, it's very tight.
Oh, it is,
been
Alan.
called offside.
Yeah. Right, thanks, Alan. So they're still with that. And Billy, that was a fantastic chance.
Roles reversed this time. Dessers, it's a great break. I'm thinking, get your head up and you'll spot Lawrence, who we've debated so many times. Kenny, does he get beyond? Well, this time he does. He gets through. We're talking at the start of the programme what a 10 has to do. Well, he's set one up, and you're thinking he's going to score now because he's run beyond, and he drags it past the post. It's a great chance to really probably kill the game even this early on.
Yeah, just clipped outside of the post there, Billy. We've just seen the lines there, haven't we, Rory?
That is tight. I've seen it myself.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness, that is very tight.
What do you do? You know, I can't imagine what David Gray must be feeling at the moment. You know, they've started poorly, albeit having Celtic twice in the league. They've not got any points. They're 1-0 down. They're very, very close to going 2-0 down there. What's he thinking at the moment? Do you think he's thinking?
Honestly, I always take my time when I played, and John Blackley used to drill our back four. This back four looks as if it's never played together.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And David Gray was a very accomplished fullback himself. You'd have thought that would have been an area where you think, you know, the boy Miller's letting crosses come in for fun at the right back area. Beater can't clear it in the left back area. And the two centre halves, if I'm Tony Docherty, I'm shouting leave them on it, because they'll give us the ball back.
Yeah.
They don't look like a unit at all.
Yeah.
They take a chance. I watched the game last week against Celtic. I'm thinking every one of them's got a mistake in them, eh?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, I was actually panicking watching it, and I'm thinking, oh, anything could happen here. That's the stage of that.
And what about the fans there, Alan? Because we know they've been waiting so long. They're very frustrated right now. He's a club hero, we know all that. Whether he was the right man for the job, we shall find out.
Yeah,
but things have got to change quickly, Alan.
Yeah, we've seen it before with Frank Zozie in this town, where he was the club legend. Everyone still talks about him. Got the manager's job. I think he's only been back once in all these years. It won't matter to Hibs fans that David Gray, or as they call him in these parts, Sir David Gray, because of his goal in the cup final.
Alan, could you keep talking, please? I've just been handed a slice of the cake that we gave to the boys for off the ball for 30 years.
I knew you wouldn't have said any of the cake.
Take your time, Alan.
Coming through. I know. He is keeping his shape. It's a sack of tatties as a shape, though.
Yes.
Come on, Kenny. Put the next time, pick the salad. Come on.
Next time, Alan.
Can I stop talking? Right, we're all right. So, no, Dundee are on the attack again, Kenny, as you can imagine. And the Hibs fans, yeah, when that goal that was chopped off went in, they started booing. You know, Dundee have been good value for their 1-0 lead at the moment.
I'm not getting a piece of producer says you've run out of cakes. I'm not getting any bit. Hibs look so stretched, even when Dundee go forward, Alan. I mean, the two central midfielders have just been left and exposed, and then the defenders aren't dealing with anything at all.
Yeah, they're not in a good place at the moment, Hibs. But one goal can get them back in it, Rory, as you know.
Yep.
Football's like, and they just maybe need that to get them off and running. But David Gray certainly needs to get them kick-started this season. They've not really began yet.
Second goal for
red
Queen's
card
Park
here, Kenny.
All right, take it away, yes.
Yes, Partick Thistle's Ben Stanaway. I think it was him that got booked earlier for that heavy challenge at Ethan Ross, and he's just been sent off in the most ridiculous fashion. A challenge came in the box, but nowhere near any contact. He threw himself to the ground. The referee deservedly booked him for diving. That's his second of the afternoon, and he's heading for an early shiver. So Partick Thistle down to 10 men. Can Falkirk take advantage?
Speaking of seconds of the afternoon, Queen's Park 2-0 away at Airdrie. Zach Rudden with the second goal there on 24 minutes. So the latest score lines across Scotland this afternoon: Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 0, Dundee 1, Rangers 1, Ross County 0. In the Championship this afternoon, Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 2, Ayr United 0, Raith Rovers 0, Falkirk 0, 10-man Partick Thistle 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Dunfermline 0, Livingston 0, Morton 0 in League One. Annan Athletic 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Dumbarton 0, Arbroath 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Cove Rangers 0. 5:30 start. Montrose at home to Queen of the South. League 2. Yes, chance.
What a scramble in the box. Eventually it rattles off the post. The ball came into the right hand side. All such a madcap defending from the Raith Rovers defence. Kevin Zabrowski just palmed it away. He didn't get any distance on it. It came back in again, and eventually there's a chance for Ayr United, and it just comes off the post. It's Jamie Murphy on the left hand side. I thought he was curling it into the net. It hit the post and came away, but it's all Ayr United with the energy in this game. Kenny, absolutely terrific start by them. Weak shot there. Still 0-0, but I tell you, this is going to be a great championship race. We're talking about Falkirk, Ayr United, Raith Rovers. Watch how they go. I'm not so sure that they're heading in the right direction and they're wind and tide, but it's going to be a brilliant division to watch again, the championship. It really is.
Kenny, can I just come in before you read those results? The rest of them, Rangers just hit the bar with a great chance. It's a poor pass from Akio Wright. He just rolled it right to Dessers and he's through. I thought there might have been a penalty. I was going to ask Roddy to check, because he checked like he does on occasion inside the man. He should have maybe shot, and it fell to Matondo, hit the top of the crossbar, but big penalty shout wasn't given, and then Matondo had a great chance.
He should have scored. Akil Wright does make contact with the ball. It does look like the bottom of his boot that makes the contact, and Dessers goes down. Dessers doesn't claim for anything, but I don't think that's a penalty, Billy. But it did in first viewing live look like it could potentially have been, but I don't think it was.
In League 2, Bonnyrigg 0, Clyde 1, Forfar 0, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 0, Stirling Albion 0, East Fife nil, Stranraer nil, Elgin City nil, and in England, full-time score: Brighton 2, Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace nil, West Ham nil, Fulham 1, Leicester City nil, Manchester City 3, Ipswich Town 1, Southampton nil, Nottingham Forest nil, Spurs 2, Everton nil. A dreadful start to the season for Everton. 5:30 kick-off, Aston Villa against Arsenal. Just a reminder, John McGinn choosing the music and sports run from 5:30 this evening. 3 good stories and 3 terrific tunes. Let's get back to Willie Miller at Tannadice. What's happening there, Willie?
Kenny, not a great deal, I'm afraid. It's not been a spectacular game of football. Too many long balls, too many challenges going in that are out of control. Very little fluent play at all. No chances whatsoever. Maybe give Matty Smith the opportunity as Walton came out and passed the ball to him wide and in the right. Missed kick from the United goalkeeper. He tried to clip it over the top of the keeper. He wasn't in target. If it had been in target, it could have ended up in the back of the net. Nah, it's not been a good game of football. The conditions are perfect for it as well, but I think they're just kind of knocking each other out the game. They're very close to an opponent. They're putting tackles in rashly, and it's been disjointed completely. 0-0.
There's going to be a free kick for Hibs at the edge of the box, and I'd like, Rory, if you get a chance, have a look at the free kick, because I think Boyle's offside before the free kick.
It's the Dundee player that makes contact with the ball, Alan. It's not a Hibs player.
Is it?
Yeah, he slides in.
No, I'm talking before that. I'm talking before it goes to Boyle. I think he's in an offside position. But have a look at it if we can. It's a chance for Hibs here. It's a free kick at the edge of the box. Nicky Cadden's over it with his left foot. You're talking maybe 20, 24, 25 yards out. He's going to come and take this off the wall and away. The Hibs have been booed recently from they're honestly getting a runaround from
Alan,
Dundee.
it's an interesting one, because just looking again on social media and seeing the fans chatting, a lot of Hibs fans have been questioning recently the performances of Martin Boyle.
I think he's been poor since he's come back for the second time. I think he's not covered himself in glory. They'll be paying him a hell of a lot of money, and I think he needs to do more. He needs to lead by example. He was terrific before he went. He's moved to Saudi Arabia, and he's come back, and I don't think he's been had the same impact in this Hibs team as he should have had.
As well, I covered Hibs against Queen's Park in the League Cup, and they were excellent that night. And Queen's Park are a decent outfit, and Rudy Molotnikov was outstanding that night, but he's struggled to get into the game so far. I don't think as a young player it's an ideal scenario to go into, but they need to try and get him in the game.
Yeah, you need to have guys round about. You were just talking about it in that before, about obviously the report that's came. You need older heads round you to help these younger boys. It shouldn't be Molotnikov looking at these guys to help them. It should be the other way about.
How's Kwon done, Alan? I know they've
not really been in it.
No.
Not really been in it. No. Dundee have been excellent, really good. Their team shape, their work ethic, everything about Dundee is what the Hibs fans should be demanding of their team.
Hamilton Accies 1, Dunfermline 0. Regan Tumulty with that goal on 26 minutes. Just go back to Hibs, one of their former strikers, Alan, Brian McLaughlin, giving us a story there. Kevin Nisbet on his way on loan to Aberdeen. A significant piece of business. What do you make of it?
Yeah, he'll score goals.
Brilliant.
I'm sure Willie will be delighted there. Exactly, Willie. Another poster on the wall. And I've got to say, see when we're talking about Matt O'Reilly and Miovski and guys like that, that's how when you want a transfer you behave. You train correctly, you play brilliantly, and you get yourself a brilliant move.
Alan, we said that
then
last week.
Then we'll get rid of Duke.
Well, that's the thing. We said last week, just the way the club handled it, the way Miovski handled it, the fans, it was absolutely perfect from an Aberdeen perspective. Willie, your thoughts on Kevin Nisbet? He's got a good pedigree.
He has, yeah. I mean, he scores goals. He scored goals wherever he's been. Good experience as well. And let's face it, that hole had to be filled. Aberdeen had to go and show and support the manager as well, and give him the opportunity to get a replacement in for Miovski. And doubling up on what we spoke about last week when Miovski took his final bow at Pittodrie. He's been magnificent for the club, and if you want an example of how to behave as a footballer, he is a perfect example. Always professional in everything that he's done, and being an extremely talented player as well. I'm
going to miss watching him, Willie.
Yeah, brilliant
class
to watch. Class, absolute class. So we'll miss him up in the northeast. I'll certainly miss him, because there was a shining light last season in a very dull kind of a campaign for me and the Aberdeen fans. I would take the European games out of that. Of course, they were particularly good, but the league campaign, poor. Majowski, absolutely top notch.
Rory, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I'll put you in between Alan Preston and Willie Miller. The battle for third. 2-horse race, and who's edging it?
Well, Aberdeen clearly edging it.
7 in a row.
Come the end of the season, what do you think?
If I had to call it just now, I would say I would have Aberdeen third.
What is that because of the manager? Is that because of the squad? What's that because of? Perhaps the commitment Hearts have got in Europe.
Yes, Hearts have got a commitment in Europe, and that's clearly affected the side who. And I've made this point before. It's difficult for your likes of your Hearts, your Aberdeen, to continuously finish.
You covered Aberdeen in Europe last season for us.
To continually finish third, because they're having that first half of the season having to contend with European games, which is part and parcel of it, and that's where you want to be, but it doesn't take detract away from the. It's difficult. It's difficult to manage, and it really affected Aberdeen last season. I think they look good. I like Theskinen. I think he's a good signing from Helsinki. I watched him a couple of times last year playing against Aberdeen, scoring a goal as well. And Nisbet's a good signing as well, and the manager comes across in the early part very, very good, very sensible, speaks a lot of common sense. I enjoy listening to him, and he's assembled a good squad, and he's making good use of the fullbacks as well, which I've noticed. Devlin in particular gets forward all the time. Mackenzie's a good player. I just like the look of Aberdeen.
Again, I think listen, I think Aberdeen are favourites because, as Rory touched on, the team in Europe, you always suffer. You're always playing catch up. You're travelling back on a Thursday, playing a Sunday. It's very difficult, and we've seen it. Hearts were in Europe, Aberdeen were third. Just as one headed off the line by Murray at the other end. Then, Hearts were in Europe this year, and Aberdeen have got a free run at that, so you would expect Aberdeen to be favourites because they'll get more rest. But just touching on another point this week, Kenny, and then Andy's report to the SFA, which I read, it said points to see clubs become more competitive in Europe. Now, how do you do that when you look at the team that Hearts are playing have got a free week this week? They don't play before they play Hearts on Thursday night. Their league has given them a Sunday off to prepare because they realise the money for that club is significant.
Does it matter, Alan, really? This time of the season, really it matters. Players need a break.
Players have not got their full fitness yet, and I know Wally's got to say I played 8 million games in one season. But
close.
But that's what? It's still early. A lot of players some are coming back from holiday, some are coming back from injuries.
Would you not rather play, Alan? Would you not rather play?
Yeah, you would. But what we're saying is that these countries are giving their clubs an opportunity to rest and prepare correctly. Instead of picking up Derek McInnes or Stephen Naismith might pick up an injury or two tomorrow, which this Czech club and the club from Copenhagen, Aberdeen, that Kilmarnock are playing, might not have.
That's the players saying that they would rather play, Kenny. The club as a whole, to make that financial money that Alan's talking about, has got to take a decision and ask the question, and that's exactly what Kilmarnock have done, and they're just alluding to it. Look where they are. Hearts third bottom, Kelly bottom so far. So sometimes the facts speak for itself.
There's also the question, Dodgy, of travel, and I don't think they've ever solved it, depending on what game they're playing in, whether to stay over in the country and come back the next day, or get back in the early hours and then upset the training regime in the morning, because players are not getting back until 3 and 4 in the morning. And I think it's a fair point that Alan makes. I've always wondered why we do, and at an international level as well. I mean, Craig Brown, God rest him, used to go on about the playoff when we had an Old Firm game ahead of the playoff against England in '99. You were involved in that, Billy. Yeah. It was Rangers Celtic, and of course Paul Lambert, who would have been marking Paul Scholes, who scored 2 goals at Hampden, was out after the Old Firm game with a broken cheekbone. I mean, we just don't look at the bigger picture sometimes at club and international level.
Yeah, and Kilmarnock, I see what you're touching on, Chick, about coming back. Did they come back? Did they stay over? Kilmarnock haven't been in Europe a lot, so they're not used to it, so they probably don't know. Although Derek will do, because he's his time at Aberdeen, but the players will not be used to this. So we've got to give our clubs the best opportunity we can to qualify and get a coefficient up in Europe, get the clubs more money. We're talking about investing in our clubs. There's an opportunity on Thursday night for Kilmarnock and Hearts. Hearts could make more money because they're guaranteed conference. Europa gives them more money. Give them a chance.
Kenny, have we got any Dundee fans on later?
No.
That's a shame. I can imagine there's a few listening in that might be asking why they weren't in the equation with your last question with regards to finishing third.
Do you think so? Do you think come the end of the season that the squad's there? Well, listen, you're right, Rory, to bring that in. And the early signs, they're going to be up there again, aren't they?
I think they're looking very, very good.
Yeah, good point.
Some excellent play. If they can keep all those players and get through to the end of the window with all those players intact, they're in good shape. Because I think Hearts are vulnerable. If Shankland isn't producing the wonders that he had last season, and he doesn't look himself at the moment, albeit early in the season, I think Hearts are vulnerable for third. I think third is open.
They've got a fantastic squad, though, haven't we? Touched on that when we covered the game. Albeit the loss up with Dundee. You had the bench that night.
It's good squad, but the dependence on Shankland is huge.
Oh my God. Oh, well, I thought United, I don't know what quite was happened here. It was a break for United. All sorts of instances. There was a challenge at the edge of the box. The chance eventually fell for Anton Dowds. It was the save by the goalkeeper over the bar. The referee stopped the game, I think, with much protest from the United players, that this is going to be a free kick right per inches outside the box. Oh, there's a red card. There's a red card shown to a Dundee player in the middle of all that. I'm not quite sure. It was a straight red player. Sorry, a Wraith player. It's all that Dundee chatting, dark blue jerseys filling me. Yeah, Wraith player about to be sent off. What's going to happen? I'm not quite sure what decisions the game given. Yes, it's a penalty. So it is a penalty. That will be taken in a moment or two by Anton Dowds. Wraith Rovers down to hit the road. Jack's pointing in the background here.
Are you guys following this, by the way? Really, I'm going to ask you questions after this. Right, check, keep going.
Let's go, Anton, down to the penalty kick.
How did you win those predictions last year? Seriously?
This is reporting. Here we go with the penalty kick. Ayr United to go ahead against Wraith Rovers at Somerset Park. A packed Somerset Park. Down to the penalty kick. He will be taking it right-footed. There's a bit of an Wraith Rovers player trying to get inside the box ahead of the kick. The referee who is John Yates Stead has just calmed all that down. Dowd is waiting an absolute age. This time the referee says go ahead. Blows the whistle. Dowd still takes his time. Here he comes right-footed and scores! Ayr United, the team heading in the right direction with the wind and tide down here, have gone ahead against Wraith Rovers. Rovers' season gets worse and worse, but it's Ayr United on fire, 1-0 ahead.
Yeah, they're on target to make it 4 wins from 4. Scott Brown off to an absolute flyer. He joined us live in the programme after opening day win away at Hamilton Accies. Very confident of the squad he put together there, and also really confident with the people he has behind them at that football club. They have big plans. There was another goal come in earlier on, and it was Stenhouse Muir 0, Cove Rangers 1. Finlay Marshall with that goal for Paul Hartley's side, and Chip bringing his news there.
Yeah, Kenny, I should have said it was Sean Byrne who was red carded. There was an instant earlier on where there was a yellow card shown to Dylan Easton. I thought it might have been him, but it was a straight red, and it was Sean Byrne who's been red carded. But the penalty kick stuck away there, and it's Ayr United lead by a goal to 0. Anton Dowds the scorer.
Rangers nearly got a second. Just a corner kick comes in, Suter header, and Laidlaw tips it over the crossbar. Rangers should be maybe 2 or 3 in front in this game. Still 1-0 up. Somebody's down injured just now, but should have had it out of sight so far, Kenny.
What about County, Billy? We spoke to them before the programme. Ask yourself and Rory what concerns you have for them. A long, tough season ahead.
Yeah, but I think at Ross County you expect that now.
Yeah.
I think that they have to get that back line shored up. They've played a 3 this season, now they're playing a 4 today. It's a case of making sure that you can not lose goals, because they find it hard to score at times as well. So it's getting that balance right. But yeah, they could be in for another season where they're in that relegation scrap, but as long as they stay up, I would say that's a remit.
Jan Dander's a tough one to replace, isn't he?
Yeah, I've said it before in this programme, when you lose your top players. When I was at County, lost Liam Boyce, nearly impossible to replace. And Dander, although it's not the goals, just you see what he brings, Rory. He's a good player, and when you're a team down at the bottom end of the league, and you're battling away every season, and you have a player who has a sterling season, then inevitably they move on.
Stirling Albion.
Cut across here. There's another free kick for Hibs, Kenny.
Yep.
It was Miller, the right back, was brought down by Tiffany. We're talking about 27 yards again. It's Cadden over the ball on his left foot. Dundee have got a 4-man wall. It has to be better than the last time. He smashed it off the wall the last time. If he does it again, he's off them for now.
Right, here we go,
Alan.
Alan.
That's worse. He's off them. He's off them. That's dreadful.
Just wait for a replay to come. We're a bit behind the pictures in the studio. No.
Honestly.
Oh, that dreadful was the right word for that one. That's fair to say. Stirling Albion 0, East Fife 1, Nathan Austin on 40 minutes. Leicester have equalised with Fulham as one apiece. Wout Faes with that goal on 38 minutes. Willie Miller, what's happening at Tannadice?
Just the same, Kenny. You know, it's actually not good football here. The crowd are very, very quiet. It's a good crowd as well. You know, both obviously the home team, filling their sections, and St Johnstone bring a healthy crowd too. But the football, it's been competitive. Let's put it that way. It's been competitive. There's no doubt that both sides are putting a lot of effort into it, but the quality is just lacking. Very few chances. Kind of awkward, tackles as well. Very scrappy game of football. Another scrappy challenge as well. I couldn't tell you who got booked there. There was 3 players round about. I'll find out on my phone. I'll check that out later on. But no, not a good game of football. And it's 0-0 with very, very few chances being created. And I just looked at my watch. It's almost half time.
Yeah,
counted a wee chance here, Kenny. Yep. Sorry, Willie. I mean, it's a counter-attack from the resulting corner. There was a player down. It's headed out. Connor Barron got absolutely buffed by Ronan Hale, and then Denham picked up. He drove probably 15, 20, 30 yards and then hit the shot that Butland had to be smart to get down to his right to save it. County not out of it.
No, listen, they've had their breakaway chances, that's for sure. Let's get to the Falkirk Stadium, the home side with the numerical advantage, Andy Burke, but so far no sign of a breakthrough.
Yeah, but they almost just had it a moment ago, Kenny. A fantastic long-range strike from Sean Mackey that looked destined for the goal until Miles Roberts got a fingertip onto the crossbar. A wonderful strike, so unlucky. And Partick, they have reacted well since going down to 10 men when Ben Stanway was sent off for a second booking, the second of those for a dive in the Falkirk penalty area. They had their own chance. Rico Diak forced a good save from Nicky Hogarth in the Falkirk goal, but just in the last few minutes Falkirk have started to step things up, and they look like they might be on the brink of something starting to apply the pressure.
The post, but he puts it over the bar. How did he manage to put that over the bar? The wing back is up for St Johnstone. Raymond, it's brilliant play down the left-hand side. It's Kimpioka that gets on it. He goes round the goalkeeper, he cuts it back, looks as though it's gone into the goal. It comes off the face of the bar for the full-back there, 6 yards out, and somehow he puts it way over the bar.
Yeah. And here's another chance for Hibs again. It's another free kick. Newell was down 24 yards out. As I predicted, Cadden is off them now, and it'll be Martin Boyle who looks as if he's over it.
Oh!
Yes, Billy, sorry.
Yes, Dodgy. I think it's Matondo that's eventually put it in. I mean, he's just...
good finish.
It's just that, just whipped in, and he's ghosted in at the post and just kneed it high into the bar.
Goal! Martin Boyle, free kick. Cadden had the last two. They were terrible. Up steps Martin Boyle. We're talking about him earlier. He needs to do more. Well, he's certainly done more. He's curled it in the corner. 1-1 just before half-time.
Yeah, it's a lovely finish from Matondo, Billy. You're right. It's Tavernier who picks him out. Comes across, and it's just with the instep, the right instep. Puts it into the back of the net. Really, really good finish. I have to say, nice, neat and tidy finish. And as for Martin Boyle, really, really good free kick. Worth watching tonight on Sports Scene.
And the miss that Willie was bringing.
Oh, the miss, yes.
That's the miss of the century.
Yeah, everybody won't be loving Raymond tonight if you're a Staggies fan. It's hit the post, and he's got to score. He's leaning back, his body position's all wrong, and he's a full-back, so he's maybe not used to being in those positions, and goes way over the bar.
Did you ever miss one like that?
Yes, against Motherwell.
Not that you remember it or anything.
Plenty.
Greg Stewart picked up on the halfway line, ran by the full team, cut it back to me, and I hit the bar.
It's more injury woes for Rangers as well. Duzon Sterling was starting midfield. Diamondi's on now. Sterling's had to get back to centre half because Balogun has gone off. I don't know if it was a clash of heads. He was lying in the box.
It was his neck, Billy, it's the way he landed.
He was just back in today as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's off anyway, so do John Sterling go to centre half?
I have to say, Billy, as well, I mean, the finishing at times has been poor, but, you know, after we were discussing it before the game, the front four of Rangers have been really good.
Yeah, I was going to touch on Czerny.
That's half time, Kenny.
Sorry, I'm just going to touch on Czerny. I know we've spoken about him in the programme before, but he just drifts in the pitch. He'll find himself out in that left-hand side, plays ultimately on the right here, but when he gets in there and he gets the ball with his back in a quick half turn, he's hit some lovely through passes for either Lawrence, midfield runners, or Dessers going through, and it's nearly put Rangers through 3 and 4 times.
He's been tidy
this half
as well, hasn't he, Bill? He's brought others into play really well. He's normally a little bit loose at times, but he's been very good today.
Yeah, he's been
Laura,
better
if you
today.
get a chance of that, see that free kick, does it go through the wall, or because it goes round the outside, or does it go round the outside, or do the players split?
No, I think it's just curled right over the top, Alan. It was a brilliant strike. Wonderful free kick, and as you were saying, you were talking about Cadden. My God, that was the polar opposite of what Cadden was producing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alan called, he had to come off, he did, and Boyle stepped up. Just some goals going in. Stirling Albion 0, Leeds 5-2. Rhys Peggy on 43 minutes rather. Stennismuir have equalised at home to Cove Rangers right on the stroke of half-time. Corey O'Donnell with that goal confirmation. Martin Boyle free kick. Hibs 1, Dundee 1. Rabbi Matondo with a second goal for Rangers on 45 minutes. They are 2-0 up at home to Ross County. So, where's we go next? Still playing at the Falkirk Stadium, Andy Burke? Nope, lines dropped off there. Apologies for that.
It just shows you though, Kenny, how goals change. Hibs would have been booed off in this opening period.
Yeah.
That's them now, and they're now getting applauded off. You know what a difference that makes. That massive goal.
And that very tight offside as well. It made it 2-0, Alan.
Yeah.
It was just
half time, Kenny.
Thanks, Willie.
2-0 here as well at Hampden, Kenny, at half time.
Thanks, guys.
Defensively, Alan, Hibs?
Not great.
No.
Not great. No. Causing their own problems. Really poor for the goal from Abita. And then the second one, it was ruled offside with Simon Murray. Another poor clearance. The two centre-halves don't look great. Full-backs, not for me.
Yeah, we'll be joined by a Hibs fan later in the programme. 0-0 at Falkirk. Just a problem with the line there with Andy, but we'll get back to Andy in the second half. Just confirmation there that Partick Thistle down to 10 men. Ben Stanaway sent off after 25 minutes. We'll give you a full rundown of all the scores at half-time, and remember, open all mics to come in the second half, or the option of commentary from the National Stadium. Rangers at home to Ross County. Fleet come on side, cruising there by 2-0.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A busy first half around the country. We'll get some half-time reports now. Our commentary match this afternoon comes from Hampden Park. Rangers at home to Ross County. Let's get to our commentary team there of Neil McCann and Liam McCowd.
Well, Ross County have never beaten Rangers in Glasgow. Did beat them last time out, but apart from a Ronan Hale effort, which was well saved by Jack Butland, they've not really threatened. It's been comfortable for Rangers, who have a 2-0 lead at the interval. Cyril Dessers putting them in front on 19 minutes. They could have had a couple of other strikes after that. Tom Lawrence failed to convert from a one-on-one opportunity after he was slipped in by Dessers. Matondo then clipped the top of the bar. Suter saw a header tipped over by Ross Laidlaw before Rabbi Matondo, just as we went into first half stoppage time, struck from a James Tavernier cross at the near post. He took it well. He was delighted with it. The Rangers fans who've turned out at Hampden this afternoon were delighted with it as well. They know how important a victory is for them this afternoon, with that Celtic game just round the corner next Sunday. The slight fly in the ointment for Philippe Clement is an injury to Leon Balogun. He's been forced off. He was replaced by Mohamed Diamonde, with John Sterling going back to deputise at centre back. Half time at Hampden is Rangers 2, Ross County 0.
Thanks to the guys there at Hampden Park. Billy Dodds is on open all mics duty for us there. Let's then get to Easter Road. Late drama there. Hibs against Dundee. Let's hear from Alan Preston.
Yeah, the half time, Kenny, it's 1-1, and Dundee have dominated this opening period, and they took the lead in 9 minutes. It was a cross to the back post. Really poor clearance from Jordan Abita on his right foot. It fell to Cameron. He wiggled his way by two Hibs men, then rolled it square to Tiffany, and a lovely right foot, side foot pass into the bottom corner gave Dundee the lead. It was almost 2-0 in 19 minutes. Cameron with a deflected shot, again a poor clearance from the Hibs defence, came out to Cameron. He had a shot was deflected and went in, but Murray was flagged in a very, very tight offside. Hibs got back into the game. It was a free kick. They'd already had numerous free kicks at the edge of the box, which Cadden had wasted, but this time Newell was downed and it was 24 yards out. There was Martin Boyle, who we touched on during commentary, needs to do more for Hibs, and he certainly did. He curled it round the wall into the back of the net. Goals change games. Hibs would have been booed off if that goal hadn't gone in, but a half-time score, Hibs 1, Dundee 1.
Thanks to Alan Preston. Next stop, Tannadice. Dundee United at home to St Johnstone. Let's hear from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, unfortunately it's goalless here at half-time, and it's been a rather disappointing first 45 minutes. The big crowd here in the sunshine can only hope that it gets better in the second. You would have thought with the players in show, Babunski, Van der Sande, Trapanovsky, Kimpioka and Sidibe, that we would have goal-mouth incidents, and we haven't really had anything from them. It's been a hard-working afternoon for both sets of players, but it's been really scrappy and you know, lacking totally in creativity. Most of the chances, if you can call them chances, couple of half chances or thing to talk about to St Johnstone, the visitors. Matt Smith could have and maybe should have found the back of the net. Walton, poor clearance from him. It falls to the midfielder. He tries to clip the ball over the top, does manage to get it over the goalkeeper, but he's wide of the post. It was in the same player was involved in a possible penalty that was checked, but it was very briefly checked and waved aside. And then the big chance just before half time, Kimpioka down the left hand side, he takes the touch. I thought too wide of the goalkeeper, Walton comes out to confront him. It's a really, really tight angle. He does awful well to get it on target. It comes off the face of the post, and there is Andre Raymond. You just think, just tap it in, just open your foot up, just slot it into the back of the net. It does bounce up a little bit, and from 6 yards, Kenny puts it over the bar. Quite incredible. You've got to see this miss. It's a sensational miss, and unfortunately for St Johnstone, they go in at half-time in equal terms at 0-0, but it should have been just before half-time. Them taking the lead, but that chance wasn't taken, so a disappointing game. Hopefully better in the second half. Goalless at half-time.
Willie describing that miss perfectly. You can catch it on Sports Team this evening at 7:15. So half-time scores in the top flight: Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 1, Dundee 1, Rangers 2, Ross County 0. Let's get into the Championship and head for the leaders at Somerset Park. Ayr United at home to Raith Rovers, and hear from Chick Young.
Ayr United 1, Raith Rovers 0, and you sense changes in the air for these football clubs. Ayr United, for me, have got the wind in their sails as a team, as a club. They are surely heading in the right direction. Troubled times for Raith Rovers. They have still managers. They sacked Ian Murray after the first game of the season. They still haven't appointed a new boss. David Healy, I think, is the leader in the clubhouse. But whoever comes in will have concerns. They're trailing by a goal to 0, and they're down to 10 men. Sean Byrne red carded after, and it was a straight red card after a foul, which brought a penalty kick for Anton Dowds to strike away with his right foot and give United a lead in the first half. They've also been peppered with other yellow cards. George Stanger for United, Dylan Easton in an early yellow one for John Potter's side. John Potter, of course, in temporary charge of the team. And I have to say, it's Ayr United for me who have got fire in their bellies. They're getting forward, they're getting the ball wide, they're getting telling crosses into the park, and even with Paul Hanlon making his first competitive start for Raith Rovers at the back, they do look to be a little all over the place. Interesting times. The new stand open at Somerset Park. Great enthusiasm from the town for Ayr United, and the growing fan base, I have to say as well. Scott Brown doing a good job at Somerset Park, and it's Raith and Rovers who trail them, Ayr United, by a goal to 0 at half-time. That penalty from Anton Dowds.
Very good story down there at Somerset Park. Also very good times at the Falkirk Stadium. They are in second place in the Championship table as things stand. They're at home to Partick Thistle this afternoon. There for us, Andy Burke.
an entertaining but ultimately goalless first half here at the Falkirk Stadium. The Bairns, of course, looking to ride the crest of the wave created by that fantastic League Cup win over Hearts, and they threaten first here with a great running shot from Ethan Ross that curled just wide of the post. Calvin Miller cut in from the opposite flank and tested Miles Roberts in the Thistle goal, and in 25 minutes things got much harder for the visitors when they were reduced to 10 men. Already on a booking, Partick midfielder Ben Stanway made the crazy decision to take a dive in the Falkirk box. Referee Lloyd Wilson wasn't fooled and flashed a second yellow and then the red to bring Stanway's afternoon to a premature end. Thistle actually responded pretty well, and Rico Diak had a good chance but was denied by Nicky Hogarth in the Falkirk goal. Just before half-time, Falkirk almost broke the deadlock when Sean Mackey let fly with a pile driver from 25 yards, only denied by a brilliant save by Miles Roberts, who tipped the ball onto the crossbar. I'm convinced, Kenny, there are goals in this game, but they've not arrived yet. Half-time, Falkirk 0, Partick Thistle 0.
I think you're learning from the man that was on before you, Mr. Chick Young. Never short of a bold prediction. Let's find out. They've been in great form, John McGlynn's side. Terrific victory, of course, in the Cup over Hearts last weekend. Let's now head to West Lothian. Livingston at home to Morton, and hear from Gully Singh.
Yes, Kenny, 0-0 here at half-time, Livingston versus Greenock Morton. David Martindale's side should be ahead. They had a chance early on, and Andrew Sherry laid it off in the path of Stephen Kelly. His shot just shy of the right-hand post. The first half of the first 30 minutes, quite quiet, overall affair, not great viewing. Morton did get the break of the ball just inside their own half. Owen Moffat, he was inside the box, he cut on to his right foot, his effort was pushed out for a corner. The first time they managed to test the Livy keeper, Cammy Ballantyne for Dougie Emery's side with the outside of his foot. He found the net, but it was ruled out for a clear offside. 30 minutes, Livy captain Jamie Brandon was shown a yellow card, but then towards the end of the first half, Livy with a promising chance. A move down the right, ball whipped in from Daniel Finlayson with a cross. Stevie May looked to connect before it fell to Tete Yenge. He got a shot away, he fired over, he could have done a lot better. But then on 40 minutes, the best chance of the game, Tete Yenge is layoff for Finlayson. He looked to pass it in. He beat in Woods, clearly in goal, but it was cleared off the line. Greenock Morton so far have scored no goals in the Championship and have conceded none, so they maintain their 100% clean sheet for the season. So far, Livingston 0, Greenock Morton 0.
Thanks to Gully. So in the Championship, Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 2, Ayr United 1, 10-man Wraith Rovers 0, Falkirk 0, 10-man Partick Thistle 0, Hamilton Accies 1, Dunfermline 0, Livingston 0, Morton 0, and in League 1, Annan Athletic 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Dumbarton 0, Arbroath 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Stennismuir 1, Cove Rangers 1, 5:30 kick-off, Montrose at home to Queen of the South, and in League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Clyde 1, Forfar Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 0, Stirling Albion 0, East Fife 2, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0, and in England, full-time score, Brighton 2, Manchester United 1, half-time scores, Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 0, Fulham 1, Leicester City 1, Manchester City 3, Ipswich 1, they were behind Pep Guardiola's side, Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Spurs 2, Everton 0, 5:30 kick-off, Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. John McGinn, Aston Villa and Scotland hero, picking our music on Sports Round from 5:30 this evening. We're with you right through until 7 o'clock. Neil McCann is part of our commentary team at the National Stadium. Neil, with a big debate about shape, about the number 10 position. I think what we've seen in the first half, Neil's away, Billy, I think what we're seeing in the first half there is it's been played to almost perfection by Lawrence and Dessers, switching nicely.
It's nice when you get it right, isn't it? I think you're right to bring up the question, Kenny, when it comes to a 10, what's his role? And Rory talked about it, the defensive side, we talked about the attacking side, and it has been lacking. But today you saw on a few occasions, because Rangers are dominating the ball, that sometimes you've got to go beyond as a 10, sometimes you've got to be on the half turn so that you're round and you're at the defence. That's why you're in those pockets, and you could see his pass for the first goal where he got in the pocket, he was round, he saw the pass and he slipped Dessers through. Now he should have scored when he went beyond, when Dessers got it in the right channel, and he just turned on him thinking, get the head up, son. You'll see him and you'll spot him and he'll go through in 1-on-1, and you'd expect him to score. But at least there's signs that he's doing the right jobs within the role, and it's paid off handsomely. It should be further in front, Rangers. Ross County have had a couple of chances on the counter-attack. We said they were going to do that, but Rangers have done their job well today. Czerny, when he gets in those pockets as well, Rory talked about the front four, he gets round and he's got an unbelievable vision to see runs and to hit a pass. I know he's got a goal in him as well. We've seen that already since he's come to the club, so there are good signs, but it has to be more consistent, and that's what the debate has been. Tom Lawrence, can he do the job? Can he get beyond? Can he get goals? Can he get assists? He's done that today.
It was like the shackles come off a bit, Billy, when the first goal went in. I thought it was they were a little bit unsure. I thought Ross County looked a little bit dangerous on the counter-attack for spells, but when that first goal went in for Rangers, it seemed like the weight of the world came off their shoulders and they started to play a little bit more freely, and especially in the forward areas.
I was saying last weekend, Tom, in the programme, every season you get a club or a couple of clubs, just every week it's interesting to see how they get on, because the result could determine perhaps a series of events. It's way too early for that. Aberdeen and Hibs were two such examples last season. I think Hibs again this season, week in, week out, it's going to be very interesting to watch them.
It is, and as we said at the start of the programme, on and off the field, it's going to be interesting. David Gray, rookie manager, obviously he's desperate to deliver something for Hibs as a manager, having done it spectacularly as a player. But there's so many weaknesses in this Hibs team, most of them at the back. Boyle's moment of brilliance has got them level. They can't rely on that. This team, for me, last season and in the early weeks of this season, they don't have solid foundations. And a solid foundation is a good, solid defence that's hard to break down. They're still conceding goals.
We've been saying that for years, haven't we?
We've said it for a long time, and the personnel changed. Personnel has changed in the summer. We're trying to bed them in. Let's give them a bit of time. It's no point in running around with our hair on fire just yet. But if Hibs fans were hoping for an immediate fix to the defensive ailments, well, they haven't got it.
You just want to see a sign, don't you?
A sign.
You're right, and it can't happen. It doesn't always happen overnight, but there's little things that happen that you think that's going the right way, or maybe going the wrong way. And Ekpitita and O'Hora, two centre backs. Bashiri's not the answer, but I'm just not sure those two have done enough so far to convince many people that they're going in the right direction.
And then Alan is saying the full-backs, they're not doing it today. I don't know, Alan, if you mean, is Alan still there?
Think so, Alan?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Do you think just today, Alan, the full-backs, or in general?
No, in general. I think they get better. I think Cadden's better than Miller at right back. And I think Abita is decent going forward, but not a great defender. And as we've seen with the goal, he panics. It's a poor clearance. Really poor clearance. And I've actually seen the goal, and my first thoughts was correct. It's gone between the two on the outside of the wall. It's not gone round the wall.
No, right.
You'll watch it. It goes between the two and deflects off one of them. Give Martin Boyle credit, but the wall has to do better. If the wall stands tall, that doesn't go in.
Speaking of Hibs, actually, I saw Nick Montgomery pop up this week. Was it in the Spurs bench? Was he was part of someo's background team? Did you see that?
No, it's
Nick Montgomery.
No, is that Spurs?
Spurs, aye. That's incredible, isn't it?
The Beatles have split up, Kenny.
But I didn't know he'd gone there. I genuinely, if I saw that game on Monday night, I had no idea.
You're kidding. Come on, Kenny.
Okay, I'm not the only one. I'm looking at the two in the studio here.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
You went on holiday after you didn't know that name.
Right, okay, let's get back to the options. Choice of listening again. It was lovely. Choice of listening again on Sports Sound for commentaries from Hampden. Rangers are playing Ross County. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave, and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, you'll find that on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds. Both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. I think if you're going to go for revenge, you go very, very quickly. So I was going to go to Gully Singh. He is watching Livingston this afternoon. And I was going to say Amon Vale. Who knows what that stadium's called now?
Yeah, who knows what that
It's after a taxi company now, is it not?
The Set Fair Arena, I had no idea. I had to look that one up. Gully Singh is there for us. Well, that's the thing, Gully. But you're saying that actually looked quite decent home side despite not finding the back of the net.
Yeah, they should have scored towards the end of the first half there, for sure. It was Daniel Finlayson. He just had a shot cleared off the line there, he beaten the keeper. But so far, again, at the start of the second half, it's been all Livingston. Morton haven't created enough. Not scored a single goal this season in the Championship, and it's not surprising. But they're on the break at the moment there, but the ball's just collected by the Livy keeper. So, yeah, still 0-0 here at the moment, but Livy fans are cheering their side on to go and get that opening goal.
Billy, I want just to come back on a subject we were talking about earlier on. Kevin Nisbet going to Brian McLaughlin telling us the deal's done to take him to Aberdeen on loan. I remember speaking to you about him a few years ago when he was at Dunfermline. Just talk to us about what you see in him, his qualities as a striker.
He's a bit like Lawrence Shankly in terms of his game progression over the years, but the one thing he can do if he's fit is score goals, and you saw that the higher he went, and then he gets himself in the Scotland team, and you just with Aberdeen doing that business way, and Willie will be delighted with Miofsky going. It's a good player trading model where Nisbet comes in as well, and he's certainly capable of playing at this level, scoring goals, just has to prove it now.
What do you think, Tom? A good piece of business? I know they've invested heavily in him. He's not going to come cheap.
I think it's excellent. If they can get Kevin Nisbet back, that Kevin Nisbet that kind of tore it up for a season or so, maybe a couple of seasons for Hibs. Scored. I seem to remember him scoring a lot of goals against Celtic and Rangers, you know. Doing it on the big stage, very good finisher.
Quite clever, quite cool, isn't he? He's good in front of goal, isn't he?
He's a very cool customer. I would imagine that Hibs and Hearts were looking for him as well.
Well, my understanding is that he was put forward to Hearts, but they didn't want him. That's what I was told.
Okay, all right. Well, I suppose with Shankland,
you can only take so many players, can you not? At Hearts. I mean, how many players do you want, Alan?
Just enough to compete in Europe. Well, that's not your problem.
Make the most of it. Make the most of it this season.
But they have a big squad at Hearts, I guess. But you know, a guy like him, you can't have too many of those kind of guys. And I think he's a natural finisher. I think it's potentially an excellent piece of business. You can't replace Miofsky. His goals. Not even his goal. I mean, his goals in the Premiership were very, very good, but he didn't score buckets of goals if you take out the penalties. 10, 12 goals a season. I think Nisbet can do that. He can't do everything else that Miofsky can do. He's all-round class. But he is a natural finisher. I think it's a really, if they get it done, it's a really good signing.
They've got a couple of £1 million player on loan. I mean, that's what they cost him.
Yep.
In fact, it was $3 million, wasn't it? Upwards of 2 at times. So, listen, if we can get him scoring goals again, get him playing regularly, on paper, it's a great piece of business. He just has to go to Aberdeen and, as I say, prove it now.
Yeah, it's just a year loan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, what a strike that was. Again, Graham Carey on this occasion, well, not on this occasion, I haven't had too many occasions like this, Kenny, to report on.
Make the most of it.
Left foot just outside the box, great strike, it comes at Walton. He's got to just make sure he gets his hand behind it. He does make a very good save, but good effort from St Johnstone, who have definitely been the better team.
Something happening somewhat. Oh, and I think that line may just have dropped off there, but there was certainly excitement somewhat.
To go back to Nisbet, I think it's a move from a club that really has ambitions for third place this season and has possibly the capacity to achieve third. I don't think it's at the start of the season. I thought it was probably a fait accompli that Hearts were going to finish third. I don't think that anymore.
Right, Gully, take it away.
Yeah, Scott Pittman with the goal, just crossed in from Daniel Finlayson. The goal had been coming at the end of the first half, but their efforts have been rewarded there. The open scoring here, Scott Pittman, Livingston 1, Greenock Morton 0.
Stennismuir have turned things around at home to Cove. Rangers, Michael Anderson has them in head on 48 minutes. Bonnyrigg 1, Clyde 1, Bradley Barrett with that equaliser on 52. Arbroath now 2-0 up away at Dumbarton. Ryan Dow with the second goal on 50 minutes. East 5 3-0 up away at Stirling Albion. Nathan Austin on 52. Alan, was that something you again?
Miller again in the right back here. It's a ball just played up over the top. He saunters onto it. He doesn't realise the Dundee fullback's flying on the outside. and almost causes a goal. But having said that, Hibs have certainly started to better the second half, without a doubt, much better.
What's happening, Billy Dodds? Early stages, second half at Hampden?
Just not much, Kenny. Rangers again just getting plenty of the ball. I think it's even at this early stage, it's damage limitation for Ross County, making sure they don't go up the road with like a 5-0 defeat or something like that. So if they can keep in the game, maybe nick one, that's where their mindset's at.
And let's get to Somerset Park, the leaders in control of that game, Chick Young. Right, so Chick's away at the moment. We're just on a few issues with some technical problems this afternoon. We'll get to Chick just shortly. We'll get him just shortly on Sports Sound. So Livingston 1-0 up. Gully told us that goal was coming. Scott Pittman with that goal on 54 minutes. In the top flight, the latest scores we have for you: Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 1, Dundee 1, Rangers 2, Ross County 0. 3 games in the top flight tomorrow, kicking off with St Mirren at home to Celtic. Full coverage on Sports and join the team tomorrow. It'll be another busy day of action.
Willie, there was a lot of chat last year about, was Craig Levein doing a good job, was he not doing a good job, etc. Staying in the league versus style of play. How have they looked stylistically today? Have they impressed you? Have they been entertaining, or has it been a little bit tough to watch?
They've been a better team.
Right.
It has been a bit of a strain the first half. Neither side really have hit any kind of a heights, but there's no doubt that the visitors are the better team. Listen, they're two front players that they work so hard, and they've got very good pace and
that's what they've never had, Willie. They've not had that for years.
No,
they've played with May and Chrissy Kane and even going back to as far as Stevie McLean. They weren't blessed with pace. This is the first time I can remember in 10 years that St John's have had real whippets up front.
So they've got a threat there. So
right threat.
Oh, big chance. Oh, good save. Must be. It is. It's Stevenson that rattles it into the back of the net for Dundee United. Good work down the left-hand side. It's parried out by Ray and Gold. And there is the midfielder, Stephenson, to just strike it in. He opens up his boot, he stays nice and calm. It falls to him perfectly, and he just strokes into the back of the net to give United, against the run of play, I've got to say, the lead.
Yeah, just on first glance, I'm no goalkeeping expert by any stretch, but maybe could have palmed it out to the side. Goes right in the middle of the goals. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice. I'll need to look at it again, but
I don't think you are.
Right.
I think he's got to deal with that better.
Yeah.
Rory, it comes across. He's not under pressure. It's just the pace of the ball.
It's a bad tackle. It's a dreadful tackle. Miller on Tiffany.
Yeah, he's got to do better, Willie. Sorry, I'm just having a look at this now, Alan. The keeper's got to do better. Good follow-up and good finish, right enough.
Right, have a look at this one, Rory. Yellow card. Have a look at the challenge. Just waiting in the replay. Tiffany's at least getting to his feet now.
Yeah, he's up, thankfully. But again, that was Hibs' own downfall. They were trying to play in the right back area and lost the ball.
Yeah, I think a yellow's the right decision. He clips him, he does clip him, and it looks intentional, but he doesn't catch him with the studs on the ankle or anything like that. Dangerous tackle, but it's a yellow card. I think it's about right.
Good effort from Diamondi. Rangers passing it about the edge of the box. He just lets fly with the right foot. It just clears Laidlow's left-hand post. County made a sub at the break. Kenny's a wee bit more defensive, trying to shore up, as I said. James Brown's on, and Jack Grieve, who's a forward-thinking player, off.
What sort of attendance there this afternoon, Bill? We know the Rangers fans haven't been turning up in huge numbers.
It's very similar. There's a lot of empty seats. I would say, looking at this, maybe 30,000, something like that.
Yeah, what was it, 37, 38,000, I think, the game against Kiev that we were at, Billy, and then, of course, a smaller attendance in the League Cup last weekend with that victory over St Johnstone. So let's get to Chick Young is with us. Chick, what's happening down at Somerset Park?
I would still say that it's with Ayr United, the lead. Wraith Rovers by 1-0. Remember that Anton Dowd's penalty in 38 minutes in, and of course Rovers down to 10 men after the red card shown to Sean Byrne in the instant that brought the penalty. Wraith Rovers actually got a corner kick at the moment, Kenny. It's about to be swung in, but they've held players back. It's brought high into the area. Ayr United deal with that. So it's Wraith Rovers still trailing the home side.
Look at this for defending, Rory. Watch this for the Hibs centre halves.
Honestly, They're so tentative. They're not engaging the ball anywhere near as much as they should be, and it's given Dundee free rein to skip by them, and then by the time they know it, they're back in their own box. They don't want to put a tackle in.
It's got to be another booking surely for Mill, you would have thought.
Guys, have a wee think about this, because when we get the fans on later on, I'm going to ask them all a question.
It's a goal for Falkirk.
Yes, Andy.
Cole Donaldson, the captain, has got the breakthrough in spectacular fashion. They've been peppering the Partick Thistle goal at the start of this second half, and now they have just gone the direct route. Cole Donaldson, the big centre half, picked the ball up 30 yards from goal and just decided to have a crack, and boy did he have a crack. Flew into the top corner. No chance for Miles Roberts in the Thistle goal. Falkirk have got the breakthrough. Falkirk 1, Partick Thistle 0.
Yeah, Andy Buck told us there would be goals, and John McGlynn's side have delivered. Rory Loy, a former club of yours, they are absolutely flying right now.
Yeah, they've taken all the momentum from their League One campaign last season, unbeaten at home, into the new season, and they look unstoppable at the moment. Now they will hit a period, because the Championship, so we're talking about, Clement's talking about B teams going into the Championship. If there's one thing about Scottish football that doesn't need fixed, it's the Championship. That doesn't need fixed, it's the Championship.
Oh, what a save that is it? We're just by the post. McCowan with a free kick. Brilliant effort, just goes by the post. I thought the keeper got a nick, but no, referee gives a bike out, but really close.
Yeah, decent enough effort, but
and that free kick has come from really poor defending from Hibs. Then they get the ball back, and then they panic and they give it back to Dundee, and then Newell dives in and the challenge gives away the free kick. Almost cost them a goal. That was very, very close.
I've said that a few times, sorry Tom, about Falkirk as well. I'll just go back to them, that getting things right behind the scenes, it was shambolic at times when I was there the second time around, and it just, getting things right behind the scenes has created a good atmosphere, getting a good manager in, and that continuity has really helped things, and they've been absolutely excellent this season.
I think, Laurie,
They've opened up Partick Thistle again. The ball dropped to Gary Oliver, but he's missed from about 8 yards out, leaning back. Should have scored, but still Falkirk 1, Thistle 0.
Stennismuir 3-1 up now at home to Cove Rangers.
Good effort.
That goal scored by Nat Wedderburn on 58 minutes. Bonnier Groves have turned things around against Clyde. Angus Mela has them 2-1 ahead. That goal on 61 minutes. Edinburgh City 3-0 up away at Forfar, and it's lost on 60 minutes. Chance somewhere?
I'm just looking at Ross County on the break. I thought they should have had a free kick. Lawrence was lucky not to get a booking. He's right through the back. Conor Randall, the referee's waged play on it. It was an incredible tackle for me.
Yeah, you're right, Billy. I don't understand for the life of me how that's not a yellow card, and he's not even getting a foul.
Yeah, the ref's a shocker there.
Wait to see the defending this time. Simon Murray has got the two Hibs centre halves exactly where he wants them. This time it's O'Hora. He turns him and he just brute strength keeps him off. O'Hora's got to pull him back.
Sorry, Alan. 3-0, and it's that man Dessers again. Matondo just picks the ball up, edge of the box, drives. We know that blistering pace. Thumping a left foot cross straight across the goal, about a yard out. Dessers makes it 3 for Rangers.
Yeah, you want to get your numbers up for the season as a striker. Those are the types of goals you want to score. He spends a lot of time outside the box, Dessers, and that's been a little bit of a complaint from the Rangers fans. Well, there's your poacher's goal right there. Matondo does really, really well. Be interesting to see who comes off, actually. It's hard to say in the first instance whether it come off the defender or Dessers, but we'll wait and see. But really good goal.
What do Rangers fans make of Dessers now?
I still think the same.
We'll find out later.
His numbers are good, but there's bits he's played. You saw the reaction in the Kiev game, Tom. Some of them were giving him stick because he didn't hold the ball up. He's reacted to it. There is a problem, but if he keeps getting his numbers up, keeps scoring goals, they'll get behind him.
I see confidence coming into his game now as a striker. The things he was kind of second guessing himself last season, even though his numbers were good. This season he looks more decisive,
strong mentally.
That's the key word, Tom, decisive, isn't it? Because Bill, you were saying that in the Kiev game, chopping back, not getting shot through. That's the key, Tom, isn't it?
It is. His numbers are good already this season. That's a double already today. I think this guy, I have a lot of admiration for Dessers, because there's an awful lot of flack went his way early on. He spoke about it last season. Rangers fans getting on his back, media probably mocking him at times, actually. For all the things the chances that he missed. This guy's had to be mentally very robust, and he is.
It's hard to change minds, but he's slowly doing it is the best way to put it, I think.
How's this challenge? Rory, go and have a look at this one, please. Larkesh, I think it is.
Just waiting on the
On
replay
Miller.
coming up. Yeah, Miller's
He
down
jumps
at the moment,
out.
holding his foot. We'll see it in a wee second. John Yule's just hit.
It's a big lad, Lewis Miller, isn't he?
He is, he's strong. He's a strong runner.
Yeah.
Positionally at times he gets caught out, as Alan's touched on a few times in this game, but he gets up and down the pitch well. So he does. Let's see it again. It's a dead leg. Oh no, I don't know if he rolls his ankle actually.
Could have been worse, that actually. You know, he just didn't quite. If he'd made more contact there, it was quite high.
Yeah, so Miller's foot plants in the ground just as the Dundee player comes in from the side. I initially thought he'd need him right in the inside of the thigh, but he's up now and he's walking around.
It's a free kick identical to where Boyle scored in that opening half. Cadden's over it, but that's a bluff. There's no danger he's anywhere near it. It's got to be Boyle, it has to be. Does he go outside the wall again, or does he try and reverse it outside into the wall this time? Free kick's gone.
Right. I just think, just to go back to Dessers, Billy hits the nail on the head. Mental strength, not shying away from a challenge. You look at that versus Todd Cantwell, who says he wants to move on, and etc. etc. Fair enough if you want to move on, but you're still getting paid. You need to turn up, you need to do things right, and you need to make yourself available for selection. Now, whose decision that was, we don't know. Right, Dessers is a shining example, in my opinion, of doing things the right way.
Right, you've reminded me something. I'd like Carradine's at the Rangers game for us, and I've been thinking this the last few weeks. So Hadji is not involved, right? I've seen a lot of Rangers fans saying Hadji should be playing. So I'd like to hear from the manager. He's either not good enough, he's either got the wrong attitude, or, as some fans are suggesting, there's a contractual, in terms of amount of games and payments. So it'd be really interesting to put these three things to the manager later. Why is Hadji not playing? I presume it's one of these three things. Can you tell us why? I think the Rangers fans would love to know.
Yeah, but what I don't... I agree with you. They would love to know, and it's speculation at this moment as to whether it's contractual or not. If his wages are, and I'm just going to, this is sheer speculation, just for the sake of the argument.
There's another heavy challenge again. Jordan McGee this time. Look, Jarevich. It's on him.
That one looked a wee bit.
Yellow card.
Is it a yellow card? Right. So just with regards to Hadji. Surely they're able to sit down. Communication doesn't seem to be... The Rangers have a history of it, making poor decisions, but surely with Cantwell and Hadji, you can sit down with them, their representatives, say to Cantwell, look, you want to leave, you want a new challenge. I don't understand the new challenge part, but that's for another time. You want to move on, absolutely fine, right? But we need you for the next 5 games. Go and put yourself in the shop window, go and win us 5 games, go and produce on the pitch, and that club who's maybe going, will we, won't we, will come in and go, yeah, we will, and we'll give you, $500,000 more, whatever it may be.
I just don't know what reception you get right now from the Rangers fans.
It doesn't matter, Kenny.
You don't
Rangers
think so?
Are not in a
I see you get the mentality to deal with
Kenny,
that.
Rangers are not in a position to be able to say, do you know what, Cantwell, you can language in the reserves because you might get booed. I mean, that's just not viable from a business point of view.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen
it needs a Kenny.
Yeah,
you're right. It needs a bit of PR. It needs a bit of PR. The whole thing. You're right. He's got to come out and say this is why Hadji. We know the rumours about he's on this. The wages of the transfer fee, etc. will change if he plays another game. If that's the case, then the Rangers fans and the public should be told that. Everything should be made clear. I think Rangers PR situation for years has been absolutely dreadful. Other clubs in the country come under that as well. But fans are entitled to explanations, to know what's going on. And the more you hide, the more you think is being hidden. And I just think, come out and answer the questions.
Sometimes it can be difficult.
Right.
It can be difficult, Chick, if it is sensitive information. It's only, we all want transparency, but sometimes things have to be confidential. We don't know the scenario.
If you just said contractual, look into the details, that would at least give Rangers fans something.
Yeah, well, I think we can kind of take that as
Do you want somebody to know what your contract is at the BBC?
No, Alan, but if someone asked me why I wasn't doing the job, there'd be probably similar 3 reasons for it, and that's all I'm asking. The Rangers fans, we know
you'll get the answer.
We know Cantwell, but the manager has said he's quite happy to say Cantwell doesn't want to be here. What Rangers fans don't know is why Hadji's not playing.
See, what I don't understand as well is there seems to be a lack of being able to sit down as and having a conversation, right? So say there is a clause in the contract. Surely there's a way of sitting Hadji down and saying, you're not playing at the moment, we can't afford to pay you X amount if you play the next game, but we can give you this. Would you be willing to come in and play 5 games, play for 6 months, we'll give you a slight increase, you help us out, you get your move. Now that is the perfect world.
Chance 4, and I think it's that man Lawrence again who has gone beyond that Ross County backline. It's too easy. It's a pattern of the Red Sea. I mean, he's just rolled through, he's opened up the body, he's hit it in against the left hand post, and Rangers go 4-0 up. Tom Lawrence.
Yeah, played well today, hasn't he?
He has, and Billy is right. We spoke a lot about Rangers offensively be very good, but the defending there left a lot to be desired. 2 centre backs far too far apart, and Lawrence just comes through the middle and easy pass, touch and finish. But and because we don't know about the Hadji situation, and we don't know the ins and outs of it, I'm here putting forward saying, well, surely there's a reasonable
penalty here for Greenock Morton.
Yeah, Gully.
Yeah, Greenock Morton have been awarded a penalty. It's Owen Moffat about to step up here. Livingston should well be clear in this match, should be about 4 up. Fans can't quite believe it, but Owen Moffat could find the equaliser for Greenock Morton. The referee's about to blow his whistle. Steps up, scores! Greenock Morton 1, Livingston 1.
Dougie Emery's side, right back in it.
Hibs piling forward now. They've made 3 changes. Muller is off, Swan is off, Cadden is off. On come the other Cadden, Bowie and Campbell. And Hibs are coming into the game now.
Right, we're going to get that message to Kerridge now. Listen, the manager doesn't need to expand on it. I think it's fair for a manager to say it's contractual, but I can't go into it. But we'll see if he gives what he gives us. So I'll give you the latest scores, and then we'll go round the grounds. There's a question I want to put to the guys. It's one I'm going to put to the fans later in the programme. So in the top flight, Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 1, Dundee 1, Rangers 4, Ross County 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 2, Ayr United 1, 10-man Wraith Rovers 0, Falkirk 1.
Oh, Martin Boyle has won a corner. He cuts inside for Talley. The flag eventually goes up. Knocks it wide of the target, still 1-1.
Falkirk 1, 10-man party at Thistle 0, Hamilton Accies 1, Dunfermline 0, Livingston 1, Morton 1. Moffat with that equaliser from the penalty spot for Dougie Emery's side. In League 1, Annan Athletic 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Dumbarton 0, Arbroath 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Stenhousemuir 3, Cove Rangers 1. 5:30 start when Montrose at home to Queen of the South. In League 2, Bognor Groves 2, Clyde 1. They've come from behind, and Clyde are now down to 10 men. Forfar 0, Edinburgh City 3, Spartans 0, Peterhead 0, Stirling Albion 0, East Fife 3, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0. And in England, lunchtime kick-off finished. Brighton Hove Albion 2, Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 0. West Ham have now gone 2-0 up there, 2 quick-fire goals. Fulham 1, Leicester City 1, Manchester City 3, Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Everton 0. 5:30 start. Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. Of course, Villa were a real thorn in the side of Arsenal last season. So, before we go round the grounds again, just a wee question on the back of the chat we had earlier on, which was a really good debate. We've had a good reaction to it. We'll do more on this in terms of this SFA report and do more for youngsters in our game. I want to ask the guys, we'll ask the fans later, if there's one thing you could change in Scottish football right now, it doesn't have to be to do with youth football. Just something that would improve Scottish football right now. What would that be? So we'll go round our pundits between now and the full times. But let's get round the grounds and an absolute rout, Billy Dodds, at the National Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers have played well, they've moved it about well. Ross County, I said, they've got to now think not suffering like confidence-wise, Kenny. It looks like that. They can't afford to lose any more goals. Made a raft of substitutions, Allardyce, Samuel and Chilvers on. Rangers have made a couple as well. That was Lawrence's last kick of the ball. He goes off, Dowell comes on, and Dessers gets a well-earned rest, so Danila comes on for him. So easy streak for Rangers so far.
Let's get to Easter Road. Hibs certainly growing into this one, Alan.
They are, but Dundee have come back in it. Palmer Holdings just had a shot well saved by the Hibs keeper Bursek for a corner. As the corner comes in again, free header. Oh, he's comfortable for the keeper. As McGee with the header. Hibs are brought on power and pace. They really have, and they're breaking again. They're trying to get the ball up the park quicker. What I have seen is a lot of long balls for Hibs.
Yes, sorry, Alan. Rangers have scored again. It's so easy. I mean, Tierney just picks up the right-hand side, just drags it from left onto right, blasts it across, and it's that man Matondo gets a connection on it into the ground. Brown can't keep it out. It's Rangers 5, Ross County 0. Far too easy.
Yeah, Billy, it's playing out exactly what you said was your fear for Ross County. We're at 5 just now. How long's left? 15 minutes?
It's just the goal signs that are up just now, Rory. I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah,
Can't be that long, maybe 20 minutes or so.
We just need to try and keep it at 5 and get back up the road.
Alan, just want to go back to talk about Palmer Holding there. Again, here's another good piece of business from Tony Docherty.
He has, yeah, and as I said earlier, chance again. Dundee seem to have signed really well, whether it be permanent or on loan. They've got this tie-up with Burnley, and they're obviously using it to great effect. Good players have signed.
Tottenham Hotspur 3, Everton 0. Everton, dreadful start to the season. Christian Romero with that goal on 71 minutes. Fulham 2, Leicester City 1. Alex Iwobi on 70 minutes. And confirmation that 5th goal for Rangers, Rabi Matondo. So a double for Dessers, a double for Matondo, and Tom Lawrence, who's now gone off. He's had a very good afternoon for Philippe Monside.
With 20 minutes to go, as Rory said, just over the 70-minute mark. So it's a long 20 minutes for Ross County. Can't afford to lose any more. I mean, it's bad enough 5, but this could run into 6 and 7s if I'm not careful.
Yeah, a worrying afternoon for Don Cowie and his players. Let's get to Canada's Dundee United in front there. Willie, you were staying against the run of play.
Yeah, but since then they've dominated the game. In fact, it's been a good second half for them, Kenny. That was a sore one. Jack Walton's down. I'm not sure who went into him, but it was we've seen a few of them. A really kind of an awkward challenge there as the ball came in from the right-hand side, and not sure. I think it was one of the strikers.
Hibs have turned that around, and it's Bowie's first goal. The big money signing. He gets it on his left foot. He turns the Dundee defender. He's on 2-3 yards out. Similar to the effort he had against Celtic where he hit the bar. This time he hits the back of the net. Hibs have turned it round. 72 minutes on the clock. 2-1.
Yeah, he gets his head down. I think he gets a bit of a break of the ball, but he gets his head down, cutting in from the right-hand side. Head over the ball, left foot, smash it with the laces into the bottom corner. And would you say Hibs deserve that, Alan?
They've had a lot better in the second half, Rory. Much better. There's been even the changes in David Gray. Give the manager credit. He's made good changes, brought on pace, power and strength, and he's got that goal.
Yeah, he's had a good afternoon. That was a nice finish, wasn't it? He's a powerful looking player, actually, Bowie, isn't he? He's quite a big lad. Watching him here. Yeah, keeper no chance with that one. Dumbarton pulled the goal back. Dumbarton 1, Arbroath 2. Michael Ruth on 74 minutes. Let's get into the Championship once again and go round the grounds in the Championship. Chick Young is at Somerset Park for us. What's happening now, Chick?
Remains a 1-0 lead for United against Raith Rovers. Remember, Sean Byrne, red card in late in the first half. Anton Dowd scored his penalty kick. It's 1-0. It's remained that way despite the 10 men for Raith Rovers. Changes galore at the moment, but Ayr United just trying to turn the screw and get a second goal that would make them safe and sure. But they lead at the moment by 1-0 against Raith.
Big goal for you, Andy Burke.
Yeah, goal for Partick Thistle. It's an equaliser. Falkirk 1, Partick Thistle 1, and the 10 men have not given this up by any stretch of the imagination. That opener from Falkirk, which I initially credited to Cole Donaldson. Apologies to Liam Henderson. It was his wonderful goal that opened the scoring, but Thistle have just hit back. They've had to come out since that goal. They've made some changes, and one of those substitutes, Terry Abladi, has just come up with a big goal, toe poking home from 10 yards. Thistle are level. Falkirk 1, Partick Thistle 1.
Yeah, fantastic for Chris Doolan's side there. Can they hang on, get a point? They played so much of that game with 10 men. Let's then get to Livingston against Morton. Morton back on level terms. What's happening now, Gully?
Yeah, it's about 15 minutes left here, Kenny. Livingston going in search of a winner here. They believe that they should be in front, and they should very well be. They've had about 3 or 4 chances, even though they've been pegged back here after Morton scored the equaliser through Owen Moffat from the penalty spot. Stevie May should have really put the ball in the back of the net from a header. He put it to his left there. There's been a recent substitute there for Livingston. Rhys McClare replaces Jamie Brandon, but Livingston on the attack. It's offside. We have 15 minutes left here. It's Livingston 1, Greenock Morton 1.
Alan, we're waiting for confirmation of Matt O'Reilly confirming the move to Brighton. Brendan Rodgers has been pretty clear, hasn't he, in recent weeks about what he needs. There's going to be a fair bit of pressure, would you say, on the Celtic board in the coming days to deliver?
If they get the money that we're talking about for Matt O'Reilly, I think that Brendan will be wanting players in. So I'm sure they're actively working, on what Brendan would call game changers. So yeah, I think there will be players coming in the coming weeks. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic piece of business, isn't it? If this gets done.
Recruitment to start with, and then obviously the money you get, as Tom touched on.
Well, if the O'Reilly thing happens, it's, as Alan says, to get him for $1.5 million, to improve him to the level that they have, where he's scoring goals, he's assisting, he's done pretty well in the Champions League. He's only 23. It's just a template of how to do it.
I shudder to think, Tom, if they do, if Hatate or Kyogo do move on at some point, just how much in earnings Ange Postecoglou's signings have made Celtic.
Oh yeah, well, Jota's 25. You're right.
I mean, it'd be close to 100 million by that point, all right?
Ange has left, but his legacy still remains, and the cash register is still clicking. Now, that'll be no comfort to Celtic, who will have really enjoyed watching O'Reilly over the last couple of 2.5 seasons. But they will want to say, right, okay, it's inevitable. He's going. The money is big. What's next? What's the plan? So they'll be hurting that they've lost one of their favourite players. But they need to replace that.
I think again.
Oh, they'll be looking for the next one, will they not?
They're looking for the next one. Exactly. Yeah. It's hard to replicate. But I think Rodgers wants a bit more experience in there, and it's not a lot to ask. And I think you would hope that he would get it, because this is if O'Reilly goes, it's a big loss. I mean, it's a hugely creative, influential player that they would be losing.
Do you think that age matters, though, Tom? Do you think that's what Rodgers is looking for? I mean, surely if you can get another O'Reilly, then.
Yeah, but how many of those are knocking around?
Not many.
They've re-signed Bernardo, haven't they? So there's a replacement there for the time being.
Chick, you've got a chance there.
Oh, fantastic play with Man United, and eventually great drive in. Goalkeeper makes a save, push to left, Dowds swings it in, and there's a header in the bit. Just another chance about to come here, Kenny. Build up by United. Yeah, the fantastic header. It was actually Dowds with the header inside the box, and the goalkeeper makes a fantastic save down to his right hand side, Kevin Dabrowski, to keep it away. United trying to get a second goal. It just wouldn't come at the moment. Here's another chance. Oh, just past the post. Still 1-0.
I'm not surprised Anton Dowds is coming to the fore. I think he's a good player. I've seen him a few times. He's suffered a couple of injuries. He was at Partick Thistle. He was behind Brian Graham, who is a fantastic striker, and Partick Thistle's #1, rightly so. And you had Adeloy as well, who was getting on before him. But anytime he was on, he's a goal threat, and I'm not surprised that Scott Brown's getting the best out of him.
You were mentioning Ange Postecoglou, his Spurs side 4-0 up against Everton. Son with that goal there, and Dumbarton have come from 2 goals down at home to Arbroath. It's now 2 apiece. Matthew Shields on 79 minutes. Chick.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, earlier on I started to say about it, but looking for this championship season, and Rory's been talking about Falkirk, whatever they're achieving. I don't know when the fixture is, but the first time these two clubs, Ayr and Falkirk, come together, you're going to get a right old crowd and a right old afternoon there.
Yeah, it'll be a crack up.
Yeah, the championship delivering yet again.
Easiest yellow card of the season.
Yep.
Martin Boyle. Wait to see this. This was so blatant.
Aye, it was very blatant, a very easy decision. Elgin City 1-0 up. That's some journey away at Stranraer. Jack Murray with a goal on 82 minutes. Anyone got something they'd like to put forward? I'm going to put this to the fans.
Too many subs to pick. 8. Why do you need 8 subs? Why? I don't get it. Used to be 1, then it was 2, then it was 3, now it's 5, then it's 8. What we having next? A full team of subs that you can bring. I don't get it.
It was COVID, was it not?
I know, but we don't need 8 subs. What you're going to have here, say you use your full allocation of 5. You're going to have 3 players that have not done enough training this week, or game preparation, or whatever you want to call it. They've not done enough, and their fitness will slip back. You can run, but it's just too many subs.
The biggest issue is what we talked about earlier on in the programme. It's the player pathway. Someone, and I don't know how the SFA talk to clubs and get clubs to buy in, to give more opportunities to young Scottish players. I don't know how the hell that happens, but it has to happen if the national team is to kick on from here. Some of the numbers we've heard are absolutely embarrassing, particularly from the biggest clubs in Scotland, who've got more opportunities because they win more often, and they, for example, Rangers are 5-0 up now. Where's the young Scottish players coming off the bench?
Robbie Fraser's just come on. Tom.
They've got to. Honestly,
answering your question.
Yeah. But Tom, they've got to be good enough, and for them to be good enough, they need to play men's football, as we've touched on. And if they can't do that. We don't have a reserve league in Scotland. We've got 2 clubs playing in the Lowland League, men's football. And before people email in, the Lowland League isn't the answer, but it's all we've got.
You're right, Alan. So there needs to be a dramatic reimagining of that whole landscape. I don't see it happen.
It's that bridge of the gap I know it's a phrase that gets used, but it's so important in this one, where Alan's right, where you don't just throw them in for the sake of it. You've got to get them football that is going to get them prepared for putting them in the first team, and then introduce them gradually.
Yes, Andy.
Falkirk have regained the lead, and it's a goal from Brad Spencer. Some great play down the right flank from Ethan Ross, clipped it across goal, and Spencer, the ball ran through a rake of bodies to him, and he's done really well to keep his strike down and find the back of the net. This game has been hanging in the balance, but Falkirk have got their noses in front again. It's Falkirk 2, Partick Thistle 1.
Yeah, it could be a huge goal. You've got to think they've been right in the title race come the end of the season.
For sure. But to go back to that, Kieran Bowie comes off the bench. 21 years of age, Kirkcaldy scores. And I was talking to some Hibs fans recently, and they were saying, why isn't this? They were talking about this guy for a while. And they said, why? There was one team that he didn't start in the last game or the game before. And they going, why not just play this guy? He looks good. Maybe they'll start playing him now more often.
Is anyone else got anything, any more pick up on that, or any other big issues you'd like to see improve in Scottish football, things we could be doing better?
Just that cooperation system. Kenny, it sounded interesting, that one.
Yeah. Well, it's been about for years, as I said to you.
You're not allowed. The theory has, Alan, but it's never been put into practice. Am I right in saying that?
It's never been put into practice. But it's not a new idea.
No, but
this is an idea that was floated 2 years ago from Rangers and Celtic. They get cooperations and partnerships with clubs.
Yeah. So for instance, but it's a movement, isn't it? Is there not restriction in movement of players between windows? So you've got to drop that.
That's what they're asking to do.
Yeah, you've got to drop that. So I think having a more kind of an open system of player movement where young players can go and play the men's football, because I don't think managers, and I know it's no managers that should be calling it, but directors ask for the manager's opinion. They don't want reserve football. And we've got an order off here, by the way, just as a side issue. It is Sidibe that's been ordered off. And another bit of head-to-head. Is there a bit of contact there? Sorry, I was looking down at my notes. As Sidibe got the red card for the second yellow. He is a physical player.
Yeah. I think it was his head. I think it was his.
There was something after that.
There's still more barging. So
right, Rory, you can try and decide what's going on.
If you could see it, Rory, it would be great for a little bit.
I've not seen the initial one, which leads to the second booking. I have seen his reaction. He's at it again. Look. But if anyone was going to get a red card for St Johnstone, you wouldn't want it to be Sidibe.
No, but that's the way he plays. I'll tell you, he runs into people. He's got pace, and he does it without any real thought, and he can injure.
Murray's almost a good challenge. Give a very good tackle.
That was the first one, Rory.
That was the first yellow.
No, that was
the first instance for me. On first glance, I mean, we've seen it very, very quickly. I don't know if the referee thinks he's elbowed him or caught him in the face, but it looks a little bit harsh. I don't think he means it, and that is relevant in this case because I don't think there's a lot of contact either.
He was yellow carded in 40 minutes. Sidibe, right? And this is the second yellow.
Right.
But after that,
here we are.
He's been he's not been in control when he's went into a challenge with Jack Walton, which, in my opinion,
well, do you know, there's a bundle of players in front, so it's blocking a view, but it looks
right. So who came in and pushed Sidibe there?
Kevin Holt.
Kevin Holt came in and pushed him, and then Sidibe goes towards him. It looks as if, got with Kevin Holt's reaction, that's all I can say. It looks as if
punches in the midriff,
and he's gone down.
But it's difficult to say.
We can't see that.
We can't see the punch.
We can't see that. But that,
he reacts like there has been a punch, but we don't know if there is a punch or not because we just can't see it. Our view is obscure. But he's certainly gone down like he's taken one.
Ball, surely.
But anyway, if the initial one wasn't a yellow, that was certainly a red card anyway. So
yeah,
he deserved to be off the pitch.
Yeah,
it's a yellow, so I don't think VAR can be involved, Alan, can they? Even if it results in a red. No, it's a second yellow.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening. It's a second yellow. I'm sure the yellow card came out and then the red card came out after it. I could be wrong, but you know, maybe if you can see the replays, but even the replays aren't you know, given the true story, I don't think. But Sidibe's out of control when he goes into challenges, Alan. That's what I'm saying. You know, he doesn't think about these things. He just runs and he goes into people, he hits them with their body, and he's got good pace. He took Jack Walton out just 10 minutes ago, and they both had to get treatment when he really shouldn't have went into the challenge. It was Walton's ball all day long, so he kind of is that type of player that with his pace going into these challenges of any sort, it's uncontrolled for me, and I think in both occasions the referee's got it right.
Fair enough. I would like to, in terms of the making Scottish football better, I know this isn't easy because a lot of clubs rely heavily on from ticket sales, etc. But I think making games more accessible and cheaper for fans to get in, especially when games are on the TV and you see lower crowds or whatever else. And I would just like to see more bums and seats, so getting together and trying to come up with weight. And there are some clubs which run incentives and things like that. Livingston have done it a few times, gets fans in.
Yes, Jake.
Ayr United have wrapped up all 3 points. Ethan Walker, the substitute. They were 3-1 on the break. Walker was very calm indeed and just dinked the ball over the goalkeeper. Ayr United and all 3 points. Very exciting afternoon for them.
Right.
I must say an exciting afternoon for me.
Second goal for United. So it looks as though the game will be beyond at this time. St Johnstone, but it's just a long throw-in. Now, who's getting the credit for it? I think it's Louis Moult that's getting the credit for it, but the goalkeeper comes out. Ray comes out for the throw-in. It's right into the middle of the goal, and he misses it completely. I'm not sure if he's behind Moult or in front of Moult, but he makes no contact with the ball. It looks to me as though it's an easy one for the keeper to take. Moult's getting all the credit. If you can see it in the studio, it would be great to get an opinion. It ends up in the back of the net. Goalkeeper totally stranded. Joshua Ray totally stranded in goal. To me, it's a goalkeeping error.
Does he punch it in his own net?
I think he might do.
Yeah, I think he does, but it's awful goalkeeping. He knows it himself. He'll not need to see that again, but it just shows you, Willie. I understand they've scored twice, but that Raymond chance in the first half, people, we talk about goals changing games, and it's a bit of a throwaway comment, it's a cliche, but this is just it in a nutshell. If Raymond tucks that away, they go 1-0 St Johnstone, they change the shape slightly in the second half, they misses it, and then they're on the back of a 2-0 defeat and a man sent off.
Let's get back to Chick. Chick, sorry, we had to cut across you. He's away doing television at the moment. That was a big goal he brought us there at Somerset Park. Scott Brown side absolutely cruising. It's one for another day, Rory, but you touched on it there about making it more accessible. I've seen a lot of fans complaining about prices. I also just know through my wee fella, St Mirren fans, it was a glorious day. They were up at Pittodrie. They couldn't buy tickets on the day. You had to buy your tickets through the club. I had to go and pick one up for them out in Paisley. Things like that, making it more accessible when fans might think.
And it's not just finances, it's also making the tickets available.
Absolutely. I saw some St Mirren fans saying that Aberdeen had missed that. I think it was a party of 4. We were going to take the trip up today.
Murray scored! Again, horrendous defending. Honestly, wait till you see the Hibs centre half. He lets Murray get wrong side, and he just rolls it through the keeper's legs. We are 2 minutes for the end. There's fans on the pitch jumping over. This has to be stopped. Not good. One's jumping in front of the Hibs keeper. Really poor scenes here by the Dundee fans, but great finish from Simon Murray. But again, the Hibs defending is shocking.
O'Hora just looks like he's walking. He doesn't have any idea where Murray is. Now, it is a very small screen we're seeing, so it's difficult to say, and I've only seen it once, but the ball's played down the side.
Honestly, we've now got stewards on the pitch at the other end for no reason at all. They're now trying to make their way up. The Dundee.
We're not seeing that, Alan. We're not seeing that on our screen,
there's still a steward on the pitch. They're walking up both sides. Clearly not enough stewards at the Dundee, and Dundee got a brilliant support. But as soon as that goal comes in at that end, they're over the ball boards and they're on the pitch. One's dancing right in front of the keeper, which is really dangerous.
The ball comes in from the right-hand side. Just go back to the goal, and Murray's on the move. He's anticipating. He can see it's happening. O'Hora waits for it to happen before he moves, and that's why Murray ends up in front of him. You know, he's very, very reactive, whereas Murray's proactive, and it's a good finish.
Right, let me just get through some scores. Stirling Albion 0, East Fife 4. Nathan Austin on 84 minutes. Stranraer have equalised at home to Elgin City, 1 apiece there. Scott Robertson on 87 minutes, and some other goals.
Kenny,
yeah, Ethan Walker with that goal kick in 90 minutes.
Yeah, Kenny, and the full-time whistle has just gone, so it's Sean Byrne red-carded. A penalty by Anton Dowd, gave on the lead. Ethan Walker has scored the second to give Ayr United all 3 points. Exciting afternoon, so exciting that 1 point my team sheet blew away, and I may have let out a little expletive. If anyone heard that, I do apologise, but it was very, very frustrating. I recovered it, my notes, my team sheet. My apologies if I upset you.
Check, we did pick that up, but congratulations you for your honesty. We had no idea where it came from, so well done owning up to that and apologising for that language. Thanks to Chick Young. Scott Brown's side cruising this season. We had him on after their opening day win at Hamilton Accies. He was confident that day. He had the right players for the job, and they are showing that so far. Yes, Al.
Oh, it's O'Hora again with a poor header. Dundee are on the attack. Murray tries to play it and it goes over the top of the crossbar.
Talk about bad defending again. Alan, you're talking about it there, but Akio right, when you see this, Rory just smashes at it, stuffs it along the ground, it falls to Danilo, and he just toe pokes it home for a 6 for Rangers. It's Rangers 6, Ross County 0.
Did you say Danilo?
Yeah,
my goodness.
That's just as well, Billy, on the back of Brown presenting the ball to, I think it was Danilo before, and you know, had to call their keeper into action. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was going to touch on that, but Kenny was, I think it was Chick that was talking as well. I didn't want to cut across. That was poor defending. This was poor defending. It's 6 for Rangers.
Yeah, you want? He looks very emotional there, Danilo, doesn't he?
Just wait to see the picture. It was a nice finish, wasn't it? It's going to be so interesting to see what he can do, Billy, isn't it? If he can stay fit, it's going to be fascinating watching his progress at Rangers.
Of course it is. They've got a few like that, though, haven't they? There's gambles going on all over the place. Like people who aren't up to speed, so he's trying to get their minutes. People who have been injured try to get their minutes, and he's one of them. But we saw last season he can be a player, can't he? And Rory was talking about that curled effort a few minutes before that. I thought it was in. Laidlaw brought off a brilliant save, but then he gets his rewards and you can see his reaction.
Right, full time, Livingston 1, Morton 1. Just to confirm, you were right, Will, it was an own goal, Jack Sanders. 2-0 to Dundee United. Confirmation from Chick, full time score now. Ethan Walker, second goal in 90 minutes. Ayr United 2, Wraith Rovers. Now we'll try and get an update on the story surrounding the next Wraith manager. Chick will work on that for us. We've got a Wraith Rovers fan joining us after 5:30. As Alan was telling us, a nice finish from Simon Murray right through the keeper's legs. Hibs 2, Dundee 2. That game's still going. Erling Haaland has scored again for Manchester City, 4-1 up at home to Ipswich Town. Cove Rangers putting a real fight up. Stennismuir 3, Cove Rangers 2. Grady McGrath with that goal. It's in 93rd minute. Danilo scoring for Rangers, 6-0 at home to Ross County. That's you right up to date with the latest scores.
You know what's a good
Scotland.
improvement, Kenny? What's a good improvement at stadiums is the clock ticks on. It doesn't stop at 90 anymore with the added time. It goes on now, so I know exactly.
Yes,
how that's been a good addition.
Good for the fans, Alan, isn't
exactly,
it?
You need to know how long there is to go.
Yeah, and I
Dundee
can see these
piling on the pressure.
Alan, I can just see. I know you're saying there's some poor behaviour there, but we can just see the pictures of the way support. They've travelled in decent numbers today.
Oh, and they've got a chance of winning that. Oh! Tell you what, Simon Murray's claiming for a penalty.
Full time 2-0 here for Dundee United.
Thanks, Willie.
Here's an opportunity again. Dundee have won it back. Really poor place. Clipped in the back. Murray, oh, what a great header from Obita at the back post. What a brilliant header. Flags up for offside.
Yeah, wow. He's miles offside.
And you were saying, Alan, he was claiming for a penalty. It was the kind of half. We saw his hands go up. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to have a look. We saw that in real time.
David Gray must be, honestly. The two Dundee goals, don't get me wrong, Tony Docker will be delighted, but the two Dundee goals have come from Hibs' mistakes. Obita with the first one, and O'Hora with the second one. He doesn't have a clue where Murray is. Wrong side of him. A good finish by Murray.
Yep. Just going back to Ross County, looking at their next 3 fixtures. in the Premiership. All at
Just
home.
got that 6-0 all over, Rory.
Yep, all at home, Billy. Ross County Aberdeen, Ross County Dundee, Ross County St Johnstone. So when we talk about how seasons are going to shape up, I know it's very, very early, but 3 home fixtures. Don Cowie will want to shake this off as soon as possible and start getting points on the board.
Hibs booed off 2-2.
Ross County got major problems. I know they've got Ronan Hale, who looks a decent player. They didn't have enough goals in their team last year with Simon Murray. They don't have enough goals in their team this season. I think they're in serious trouble. I know it's early to say that, but they look toothless, and obviously they've taken a heavy beating today.
Yeah, so we're just getting all the full-time scores in across Scotland. Just to tell you what's coming up on Sportsrun between now and 7 o'clock. We'll give you a full classified score. Then we'll get the news headlines for you around about 5 o'clock. Between 5 and 5:30, we'll bring you post-match reaction. Lots of talking points today. We'll go around the grounds. We'll get some managers in there for you. 5:30, the fans having their say. Lots of things for them, I'm sure. Hibs fans, we've got a Hibs fan on tonight. And Raith Rovers fans, what's happening there? Ian Murray's sack, a lot of them weren't happy. We thought a new manager would win, but now he's not. But there is speculation that David Healy could be the next manager of Raith Rovers. Falkirk going really well. Ayr United going really well. Seen pictures of Don Cowie there in the Hampden Surfers. Tom English saying he thinks they're in for a tough season. They get battered by Rangers at the National Stadium this afternoon. Dundee United, a sticky performance from them, but they beat St Johnstone by 2-0. Interesting to hear what Craig Levine's got to say about Sidibe. Really poor from him, really poor discipline. He's such a good player. And Hibs booed off. Alan Preston telling us there. And Dundee very close to winning it right at the end there. Rory Lloyd, they had some chances. We're seeing Simon Murray in their screen. We're seeing the Dundee supporters. It's all good for Dundee Football Club right now.
Yeah, it is. They looked a lot more controlled throughout the game. Hibs had their moments, but they looked stretched. They lacked cohesion between the lines defensively. In midfield, I thought there was huge gaps. Kwon was left exposed at times alongside Newell as Dundee went forward. There were chances for both sides. A lot of free kicks around the edge of the box and things for Hibs, and they did take the lead, couldn't hold on to it. But I have to say, from what I watched, Dundee probably good value for the point.
Right, thank you to Rory Lloyd there. We have got so much more to bring you on BBC Radio Scotland. Next stop, we'll get a full-time report from our commentary match, a convincing win for Rangers at the National Stadium.
On digital radio.